Okay, welcome everyone. How's it going? It's Jonathan here, and we are live. Okay, I'm coming to you from El Conquistador. It's a hotel out of Puerto Rico, and we're just getting started here. So thank you so much for joining me. It's beautiful weather out here. How's the weather where you're from? Let me know in the comments. And yeah, it's been fantastic. And it's interesting. I was here with a business-related mastermind focused around, developers, real estate, various different kinds of professionals. And I was there helping, supporting. One of the guys was presenting, who was a real estate guy. I'd put him on the red light in the morning for his 8:52. Had him in front of the red light. Nice stash. Yeah, I'm looking a little rugged right now, and so anyway, so Robbie got up. Robbie Krager, you could look him up, the flip flop flipper. So he gets up. I could even play the video later, but he gets up and he's presenting at 9:30. He just had the red light in front of his eyes for about between 3 and 5 minutes, and then he's kind of shouts out a profanity from stage and says, "I can effing read," which we'll bleep out the version of that. But you guys can hear me fine, right? And it was exciting seeing something that I had explained would work for him. He trusted that it might, and because I was there, I could put this panel in front of him, and he was able to. Blurry, yeah, got it. Okay, so Ronald is saying it's a choppy feed, but anyone else, just let me know if it's clear for you, whether it's just on the end. It's a few people, a couple of people, yeah, but it looks like we're generally good, which is good. Sorry for those that aren't having it clear, choppy, but audio clear. Okay. I just had the internet go out in the hotel, so then I ended up going to not clear, choppy. Yeah, it is choppy for several folks. All videos blurry, not clear, fuzzy, audio clear though. Okay, if that's the case, don't worry. It should correct. And also what I'll do is here, once I hit the presentation, which guys, you're going to be blown away by this. This is amazing, right? Is the screen clear? Because it doesn't really matter when I'm little here. And once I get the network back on, it should be a lot better. So let me know how that is going. Is the screen quite clear? Is that nice? Good enough. I like the attitude there. P. Allen. Clear now. Okay, good. So yeah, look, patience is a virtue. Yeah, I think it's going to clear up. Thank you. Let me know. Guys, you're amazing. You definitely want this information. If I was speaking through a muffly line and you could just make out the words I was saying, the words that I'm saying are so important because they are of such value to your health, your life, and yeah, bless you. Let me know where you're from. PEMF webinar, cellular, spring, clean, reset, recharge, revitalize with PEMF. This is the human battery theory right here. We're teaching why your body is a battery. Have you charged it? And that is the key right now. Okay, thank you for letting me know where you're from. We've got Marg and Trudy from Gainesville, Georgia, Debbie, Sylvie, Deb, Larry, Terry. Fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. Guys, I go to a bit of effort here because there's like quite a lot of things in this room where it's not my home, and we got a nice microphone set up here and everything. So want to make it so that you can hear every word, so that you're catching every important thing. Debbie, Susan, Chris, bless you guys. Dee, thank you so much for just helping me with that. You guys are champs, absolute champs. Deb, Jenny from New York, Gozda, Istanbul, Mary from Kansas, Larry, Sharon from Alberta, Canada, Richard from Los Angeles, Blanca, Dawn, and you guys are all seeing each other, and that's what's really important as well. Rafiki, which means friend in Swahili, which I'm sure you know all too well. Jonathan, you rock and roll looking kind of scruffy. God bless you always, Rafiki. I literally could not find a good razor, and that just went on for too long. But that's awesome. So, and I think about things like the fact that if we were in the trenches on your health or something like went wrong, I think about a friend of mine, Mitch, who can't function, and he's resorting to carers. And then you think about what health looks like there. It's being in the trenches. It's wiping someone's butt. It's whatever. And so I think sometimes we are all too clean and sterile, when in fact life and getting in the trenches and getting dirty and is important. And so I'm going to share with you different facts and different science, and ultimately the reason why I'm good at what I do, and the reason why I'm sought after by doctors around the world, is because I get in the trenches and I do the difficult things, and that's a blessing. Pregalia, a tumor on each adrenal gland that are excreting hormones that can cause high blood pressure. Would it be safe to use PEMF on these? I'm 83. I'm not interested in surgery. Okay, we'll get to that. I'll also have my team in the background running different scenarios as well. And I obviously, like this screen says, I can't give medical advice, but I can show you what research is saying, and you can use that for education purposes, which then can help you, and then you can make those decisions, talk to your practitioners, et cetera, et cetera. So I, John Arnott, do not claim that any information shared with you will treat or cure any disease or symptoms. This webinar is based on my my research, and it's for educational purposes only. I'm not a medical practitioner. Please consult with your medical doctor if you have any concerns. And a doctor would say something similar in the same setting, because they're also not they're providing education versus a doctor-patient relationship through the education, which is not assumed. We're not providing diagnosis or treatment, and attending does not create a doctor-patient relationship. Some topics may include emerging research, or including lab or animal studies and human studies. Any devices discussed, such as red light therapy, pulse electromagnetic field therapy, or sauna therapy, they're not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure or prevent disease. Testimonials are personal experiences, and results are not guaranteed. It's a good thing that actually in many ways creates a lot of trust, because we're not here to hype something up, but we are showing you some really cutting edge research that I believe will support your body in its self-healing mechanisms. And that's why we see such tremendous results. And Terry is saying life is dirty. We're made of dust, according to the word of Elohim. We also build some of our immunity from the dirt, if you think about how our food comes from the dirt as well, and so true. Awesome. All right, so I'm excited to share this journey with you to help you renew your body and to create balance and harmony and to achieve a vibrant and vivacious well-being. We're going to explore evidence-informed approaches designed to support your body through chronic conditions and recovery. And for those navigating fatigue, pain, or inflammation or recovery, this is your invitation to begin healing. And now you're going to learn how to calm inflammatory processes in the body, strengthen resilience, and awaken natural vitality from within. You're going to step into the world of PEMF and how it can recharge your cells, and light therapy and infrared sauna therapy. You're going to reconnect your body's innate intelligence, reconnect with it, and support it through every stage of healing and renewal. And this webinar is designed to give you clarity, confidence, and supportive tools that you can move forward feeling renewed and a great sense of hope. So I'm an investigative journalist. My degrees from the University of New England and my bachelor's degree in double major in journalism and media production. I'm a double major in that, graduated from both, and went into all areas of journalism pertaining to putting an end to suffering. And that's what's kind of unique about me, that whether it was hunger, starvation, or human trafficking, the result was human suffering. And so it's interesting that when cancer and chronic disease, autoimmune disease, vaccine injuries, when all these things came to light for me, and I realized what the solutions were and studied and researched these for my own health and my own recovery, which you'll see more about that, I then started getting really good at this, to the point where I was going over some about the things that doctors have said about us, that you'll watch different segments I'm doing where I'm educating on doctors' platforms, and they'll they'll start consulting, like actually asking me for advice on how to fix different things with their health, because that's how cutting edge research works. And that's how really powerful relationships can happen between leading investigators like myself and practitioners. And then because we've published so much research and I've reached millions of people, we get so much incredible data. And so it's really a pleasure. Okay, fantastic. All right, so our work has received worldwide recognition, Brussels Film Festival, all these different awards that we've been able to garnish because of our research, because of the cutting edge that we have when it comes to journalism and documenting facts and putting together key research, et cetera, et cetera. Some of the doctors that I've worked closely with over the years, and some of you will know these names, and there's collectively hundreds, and people like Dr. Tony Jimenez. Like, here's a book. This is a good kind of thing to remind people, for those that aren't as familiar, or for those that are familiar. This is a new book. It's called The Cancer Off Switch by yours truly, me. On the back here, you've got Dr. Tony Jimenez giving his recommendation. What he says is that, and I feel like this really nails it, because like people should be thinking about, who am I getting information from? You've got to get clear on whether that's a good source or not. Here, Dr. Tony Jimenez says, Jonathan has been both a dear friend and an esteemed colleague for nearly a decade. He cites my research as being groundbreaking, and my dedication towards those battling chronic diseases and cancer as being inspirational, and says that this resource, and which is really a lot of which I'm going to share with you today, he cites it as being potentially life-saving, and then says this book isn't just recommended, it's essential for those battling chronic diseases, cancer, or have loved ones suffering from these conditions. This book isn't just recommended, it's essential. His words, not mine, right? So I've done education at both the cancer clinics, both Cancun and Tijuana, arguably the world's leading holistic cancer therapy center. And he's been really quite amazed at what I've been able to offer when it comes to providing real solutions, so much so that we're a key part of their patient follow-up program, so that people are getting our devices so that they can use them to continue their treatment protocols. And so those of you that are watching this and trying to get tools that are effective, then it behooves you to look at how these powerful tools can be used for you, for your health. So stay until the end to get free limited edition access to exclusive, never seen before bonus episodes, or this bonus episode Beyond the Diagnosis docuseries. It's From Inflammation to Regeneration, the Power of PEMF, Pulse Electromagnetic Field Therapy. 3 of our viewers will receive a free Red Light Spectrum wand, and it's a limited edition. This is it here. Millions of people are living with the daily challenges of chronic disease, and this is the big challenge, whether it's hypertension, diabetes, mental health, arthritis, and depression is the leading cause of disability worldwide, affecting over 300 million people globally. Well, that with the things going on in the world and the rise in toxic threats, it really pushes us into a really challenging chapter of world history that so many people are just suffering without hope, without answers. Cardiovascular diseases, 500 plus million. Look at chronic kidney disease, over 800 million. You can read the stats, and you've got around 42 million deaths from non-communicable diseases. 74% of the world's population deaths, right? So it's a big deal what we're facing here with what's happening in the world, and that's valid and important data. PEMF, what is it? How does it work? Well, it supports the mitochondria and ATP. So you're producing adenosine triphosphate through frequency. And this is how people are, when you see the results, then you say, well, I wonder what is that mechanism? Why is that working like this? So you're working with low frequency electromagnetic waves to support the body at a cellular level, the cells, right? These are the building blocks of what we experience this life, because the human body is bioelectrical in nature. PEMF works by gently stimulating cells to help restore the health healthy electrical balance, enough vital charge within our cells to be able to communicate and therefore have everything function, which is improving overall function and recovery. You've got improved circulation. You're boosting blood flow and oxygen delivery to tissues. You're reducing inflammation and regulating this aspect of the body, which is often on high alert. And there's two mechanisms. One is that you're getting to the root of what's causing the inflammation. And secondly, you're dealing with the downstream issue, which is the inflammation itself, which is part of the body healing itself. But you're dealing with both parts. And when you have support in that area, then all of a sudden you feel better quite immediately. But then over time, your body's removing these toxins. You're getting out the upstream causes of what's driving that inflammation. You've got nervous system support, supporting balance and relaxation in the nervous system, and tissue repair and recovery. You're encouraging cellular communication for recovery. Why spring is the perfect time for PEMF? After winter, your body is ready to reset, recharge, and reawaken. Re-energizes cells after months of low activity, supports natural detox as circulation and lymph flow increase, reduces stiffness and inflammation from colder months, boosts energy and your mood as your body shifts into a new season, and helps reset sleep cycles disrupted by winter and during winter, and prepares your body for movement and increased activity. Spring is your body's natural restart. PEMF helps you to step into this season fully and with both feet in. It's supporting natural pain relief. PEMF is shown in clinical studies to help ease chronic pain, supporting the body as it moves out of stagnation and into a more balanced regenerative state. It's encouraging cellular renewal and reducing inflammation. By influencing key cellular pathways, PEMF helps calm inflammation at its source, creating the ideal environment for cellular repair, regeneration, and renewed function. PEMF works at a cellular level to support, and this is immune balance and recovery, healthy cell cycles, and immune resilience, helping the body reset, rebalance, and recover effectively. It's supporting bone strength and natural repair. Here's a study showing 77.4% healing rates in delayed long bone fractures, supporting restoration and structural renewal. Now, this is really relevant to people that aren't having issues with, for example, a fracture, which be the majority of people. If it can do that for a fractured bone, what's it doing for your bones? And the answer is it's increasing the mineral density. And if you have stronger bones, you have greater longevity. See how it all works together? It's neutralizing harmful EMF exposures, which is arguably one of the most powerful aspects, because what if that's one of the things that's throwing off your body the most, and PEMF is helping to balance the body arguably better than anything else. It's reducing inflammation at the tissue level, supporting a more balanced, resilient internal environment, and easing discomfort. And it's enhancing sleep quality and relaxation. This is a breakthrough study. It's supporting the nervous system regulation and recovery. And studies are showing that during the study, 69.7% of participants no longer experienced clinically significant insomnia, meaning that all of the people in the study had insomnia. And during the study, they go from insomniacs to no longer insomniacs. 69.7%, close to 70%. What if that kept going? And what if the only thing you did right now was get better sleep? And that is even for people that sleep pretty well. What if it was better? How much better would your life be? How much more would your mood improve? And how much better would your healing be? Because healing is happening while you're sleeping. How much more effective would everything be in that context? So it's pretty exciting. And here's Dr. Tony Jimenez and what he has to say on PEMF.
With respect to PEMF, or pulsating electromagnetic frequencies, I like to say also that in 2014,
doing that. Hold on.
I integrated 10 years ago, I integrated PEMF as a staple foundational treatment in integrative oncology. And now we see that many centers in the world are using PEMF. Remember that disease starts at the electrical voltage part of the cell. We have the cell that forms tissues, the tissues form the organs form the system, the respiratory system, digestive system, and then the systems form our body. But disease starts at that cell level, and that's where the voltage potential is so important. Cancer cells have a low voltage potential, minus 30, minus 40 millivolts. Healthy cells are minus 90, minus 70 millivolts. As a normal cells become diseased or damaged, that voltage potential decreases. So when we administer PEMF, we are upregulating voltage potential to healthy cells, and guess what?
And that is arguably one of the best ways to understand not only how PEMF works together with combating a disease so progressive and life-threatening as cancer, but all chronic conditions. What if it's low voltage that is really the big reason for a lot of the suffering that you or a loved one is experiencing? And what if that is, in some ways, one of the simplest things to correct? Cellular inflammation. So a 2025 study showed that PEMF works like a gentle cellular reset, helping the body calm inflammation and heal more effectively. By sending pulsed magnetic signals into tissues, it boosts cellular energy, improves blood flow, and helps nutrients and oxygen move in while flushing waste out. This reduces the chemical messengers that drive pain and swelling, increasing signals that promote repair. It also supports nerve and tissue regeneration by activating repair cells and growth factors. In simple terms, PEMF helps quiet the body's overactive inflammation alarm and recharges cells like a battery, and creates the right environment for faster, more complete healing. There's the clinical study backing up this finding. PEMF for inflammation. This study suggests that PEMF may help reduce inflammation by shifting the body's immune response away from high alert inflammation toward a calmer, healing state. In mice with stroke-like brain injury, PEMF treatment started soon after the damage and was used twice daily for 3 weeks. The treated mice ended up with a smaller area of injury and showed changes in key inflammation signals, specifically lower levels of major pro-inflammatory messenger interleukins 1 alpha and higher levels of anti-inflammatory recovery supporting messenger, which is interleukins 10. The treatment also reduced activity in the gene pathways linked to TNF, which can drive inflammation and cell death, suggesting PEMF may help limit ongoing inflammatory damage while supporting tissue repair. And here's the clinical finding here. It improves, for example, for PEMF for autoimmune diseases, it improves cellular energy and circulation. By boosting mitochondrial function, increasing blood flow, PEMF helps produce more energy while delivering oxygen and nutrients to affected tissues. This supports faster healing and reduces the buildup of inflammatory waste products. Immune system modulation. By modulating immune cell behavior, PEMF helps prevent the immune system from attacking healthy tissues. It promotes better immune regulation without suppressing the body's ability to defend itself against real threats. Reduces chronic inflammation. PEMF lowers pro-inflammatory cytokines and supports anti-inflammatory pathways, helping calm the overactive immune response, which can ease symptoms like joint pain, fatigue, and tissue damage linked to autoimmune conditions. Here's fibromyalgia. The study looked at whether low-frequency PEMF could help with fibromyalgia by comparing a real PEMF treatment to a sham placebo-controlled study. A treatment like it's a fake PEMF. So both are using a device. One is fake, the other one is real. Over the 3 weeks, both groups did 30-minute sessions twice a day, but only one group received an active PEMF. By the end of treatment, the PEMF group reported bigger improvements in daily functioning, pain levels, mood, and overall quality of life than the sham group. Some benefits, especially pain and function, were still noticeable for the PEMF group at the 12-week follow-up, while the sham group mainly still showed improvement in mood and general health scores. In plain terms, PEMF didn't cure fibromyalgia, but it helped with reducing pain, fatigue, and improved how people feel and function beyond what you'd expect from placebo alone. It's interesting that belief is so powerful and something that we all need to harness, because belief is so critical that these studies exist. Meaning that what if you deepen your belief that you could heal while you're doing the treatments? Yeah, this completely randomizes it in the sense that you could be in it thinking, well, I got the fake one, which could affect the result, because you know that you're in a study where you could get a fake device, and that could affect the result. You could get a lower result by thinking this is probably not going to work. But even if you didn't believe that it's going to work, it's proving that in this case and in others, it will work, regardless of whether you think it will or not, meaning that it's not dependent on your belief, but your belief certainly doesn't hurt, which is why these placebo studies exist, because some people get improvements. But in this case, there wasn't major improvements in the sham group, which is what you'll find as almost the norm. I would say it is the norm. It's definitely the norm, but almost always is what I meant to say with PEMF and red light sauna as well. A 2025 systematic review and meta-analysis demonstrated the potential of pulse electromagnetic field therapy as a safe and effective way to significantly reduce fatigue in people with MS. Fatigue is one of the most debilitating symptoms of MS, and across several high-quality clinical trials, patients receiving PEMF experienced measurable improvements compared to those given placebo treatments. Importantly, PEMF was well tolerated with no serious side effects, making it a strong complementary option for managing MS-related fatigue. The clear reduction in fatigue highlights PEMF as a powerful science-backed tool that could greatly improve daily functioning for those living with MS. Here's the clinical trial here. PEMF for bone density and fracture healing. Enhances calcium uptake. It improves the body's ability to absorb and deposit calcium into bone tissue for stronger, healthier bones. Stimulates osteoblast activity. PEMF activates bone-forming cells, encouraging steady new bone growth and increasing overall bone density. Promotes collagen production. PEMF supports the natural collagen synthesis, which provides the essential structural framework for bone strength and flexibility. And it improves circulation and oxygenation. By boosting healthy blood flow to bone tissue, PEMF delivers nutrients and oxygen that are vital for quicker fracture healing and bone repair. Here you've got PEMF for bone fracture healing. You'll see here this is 1,300 patients showing a high overall success rate of nearly 90% with clear evidence. This is the middle paragraph that consistent use significantly accelerates recovery. Each additional hour of daily use was associated with a reduction in healing time, and patients who used the device as recommended around 9 to 10 hours per day healed substantially faster, often weeks to months earlier than those who used it less frequently. Wow, this is a big time commitment, guys. Can you do 9 or 10 hours? Well, most of the studies we shared before was 30 minutes once or twice a day. You guys hear me okay? LP is mentioning that you're having little challenges there. I'm hoping it's not for everyone, though. I'm sorry to hear that. I want everyone to get everything they need. Let me know if other people are having any issues there. So what is powerful about this is that if you want to do these longer sessions, you can by sleeping on a device. Most devices would just time out at 30 minutes or an hour. But it's not the case with the devices that we're using. You could use it for a 9-hour period, which is impressive. Okay, great. It's all coming across good. Thank you. LP, just keep persevering or like refresh and see how you go. Overall, the findings demonstrate that PEMF not only supports the body's natural healing mechanisms, but can meaningfully shorten the time required for bone repair when used consistently. And there's the clinical study backing this finding here, with that 9 hours or more per day, which you could do while you're sleeping on a mat, for example. A review on PEMF for chronic pain. PEMF helps manage pain by working directly on the body's natural healing and anti-inflammatory systems rather than simply blocking pain signals like medication. It stimulates a biological process that increases nitric oxide, which improves blood flow, reduces inflammation, and helps injured tissues recover more efficiently at the source of the pain. Because of this, it may help reduce pain while also supporting healing. In the study, people using PEMF experienced significantly greater pain reduction, about 36%, compared to only 10% with standard care, and were able to rely far less on medication, with drug use dropping by more than half, 55%. This shows that PEMF not only reduces pain more effectively, but does so in a way that decreases the need for pharmaceuticals, making it a non-drug option for potentially managing both acute and ongoing pain, which is awesome to understand that mechanism. Imagine using that with red light therapy and doing those combinations of therapies, because they are individually associated with drastic pain relief. And then also imagine doing that for longer periods of time, meaning either a greater treatment time, or better yet, and this is the bigger one, over longer periods of time, meaning that these studies are often 4 weeks, like short periods of time. What would happen over the course of 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, 5 years? So you trend in one direction, and it's downscale for most people. Ruth is saying 9 hours or 10 hours uninterrupted or throughout the day. A good question. You can go back to the keywords and pause in on that, and we can look more closely at that. Okay. A review on PEMF for chronic pain. In simple terms, this review looked at 9 clinical studies involving 420 people with ongoing non-specific low back pain. Overall, PEMF therapy was found to be safe and often helpful in reducing pain and improving movement and daily function, especially when used alongside regular physical therapy. About half of the study showed clear, statistically significant improvements compared to control groups. People who received PEMF often reported less pain and better ability to move and perform daily activities. While treatment settings varied, no serious side effects were reported. In short, PEMF appears to be a safe add-on therapy that may help ease chronic back pain and improve function, particularly when combined with conventional rehab treatments. Pretty impressive there, because how many people battle with back pain? If you got back pain, drop it in the chat. I'm just wanting to see how common it is with the 500 or so people we have live here, and then there'll be somewhere around maybe 20,000 people to watch the replay, and which creates a huge demand as well when we talk about that, where people then need to use things. Grounding is one way to get maybe a fraction of what we're talking about. None of these studies are on grounding, they're on PEMF, so it's very different, but it does alert us to get back to it. Yeah, Brenda, Jesse, Karen, Sciatica, Debbie, Elizabeth, Lisa, yeah, Kim, chronic back pain, I'm sorry to hear it. Linda, Terry, thank you for sharing that with me. And if you had any of the chronic conditions like arthritis, just drop it in the chat. And any of the ones that we've shared so far, drop the name of that in the chat. I just want to get a feel for what everyone is struggling with. At Ruth, back pain for 44 years. Wow. I just want to see you all get better. I do. I just believe that health is a gift from God, and it's a birthright, even though we shouldn't be entitled in that. We live in this world, so therefore this is not fair. I'm upset that this has happened to me. Fibro for Debbie. Cheryl, L2 and L3 narrowing of the spine, chronic fatigue, rheumatoid arthritis and osteoarthritis. Rebecca, 3 autoimmune conditions, and arthritis, fibromyalgia. Nancy, husband and son both have chronic back pain. Yeah. Arthritis. And one key thing I can give with all the pain for the back, sciatica, fibromyalgia, arthritis, I've been listening for years. I think that means to me, maybe. Arthritis, Larry, my wife's chronic back pain. One quick thing that everyone can do is gluten-free. It will improve a lot. And then almost everyone here, I think there's a huge percentage of people that have gone gluten-free, a huge percentage of people that have visited chiropractors, Barbara leg and feet and cramps, and it's showing that there's something more needed. And I'm going to recommend to everyone chlorine dioxide as well, right? So I just want everyone to get better, and I know that also is something that, this is deoxypedia.com. I'm dropping this in. Chlorine dioxide is something that, whether you, like, for example, get a PEMF mat from us, because we'll share some of these tools for those that want that. I'm just going to show you all the studies and research and education. That information is for you to do whatever you want to do with, right? I'm an educator. For those that want additional information, then let me know. And then I want to show you that information if you want that, so that you can use great tools. Dawn saying, my mom has cancer, osteoporosis. I have Hashimoto's. The reason why I dropped the Deoxypedia, this is chlorine dioxide, because I can share this on this platform. I want people to have this tool available to them. So you can go on deoxypedia.com. You can put on the condition. I'm going to show you some graphic images here, but this is a substance that really costs nothing. Sorry to show this one to you, but I prefer you not to get the condition. This is a severe tongue cancer, and this was the healing, right? If this wasn't studied for the last 18 years by the same group and open source, so they don't make money because they're like a for-profit, non-profit foundation type of setup. This is a prostate cancer case. This person had a PSA of over 1,200, I believe it was, but it was definitely over 1,100. It's completely benign. There's a published study on this. Of course, it got retracted, and it's available still, but if you look up the keywords for this case, but it's being combated. Lung cancer recovery. Some of them, it's like a Wikipedia type format. So these are case reports coming up, right? I want people to know about this, right? You go to you click on the logo there, or Deoxypedia, come back to where it's CDS protocols. It teaches you how to use it. CDS here, and you'd go into Rumble and put in the words, rumble.com, put in the words how to make CDS. I'll show you that. Right, so everyone can use this tool, how to make CDS, right? Put that in, and then you'll see, like, these videos probably all teach you the right thing, but you may as well learn it from Dr. Andreas Kalka there. He's there showing the video of how to make the solution. If you want to do it the same, if you're going to do MMS, you would simply, to do MMS, you would simply just add 2 drops of each. I'm just going to show you this on Amazon, which I'm going to put in chlorine dioxide. There it is. And any of these, I can't recommend this. I can show you what I do and what people did in those case studies. I can't really do anything, but this one's a hot one. People are going to jail for this. I just want you to know about it. And look at, this would be enough to last you several months, right? So just know that money never has to be an issue. And then the reason why to do things like red light therapy, like pulse electromagnetic field, is it's only going to make treatments like this and vice versa more effective. And so I'm a big believer in doing all of the best things. And I hope that's helpful, guys. And just remember, like, you may say, well, I've got Hashimoto's, like that severe lung cancer and tongue cancer and prostate cancer case. That's cancer. I've got something else. It supports how the body heals itself. And that's why you'll see this so fascinating with red light therapy and PEMF, that you'll see me continue to come to what are really universal antidotes. And I just need people to understand that. Search the same database for the same thing. Search the same PEMF for autoimmune disease, for cancer, for thyroid disease, and you'll see, and red light therapy, you'll see continually the most breakthrough studies on all of these. And so what happens when you use them in combination is you've made like a wellness center that you would have spent $40,000 to be there for the week, or like 2 or 3 week period at some of the elite wellness centers, but you're making it in your home. And that means that for $1,000, $2,000, whatever the price is, you're setting up a couple of tools in your home. Then when you integrate, you combine in tools like chlorine dioxide. Some of you are aware of the power of urine therapy and what that means and why that's powerful. You have some of the most healing tools, and you're the lucky ones, right? You really are. You're lucky to be here and learn this. And then the same thing is true. James just mentioned the ivermectin and fenben. I have not seen issues, and Dr. Andreas Kalka, they have protocols where they're sharing how they're using it with albendazole, another example, like very similar to fenbendazole. And so I would not say that it's counteractive at all personally. Okay, so I just wanted to share that, guys. We're coming back in here because this is like the focus area, and it's one that I'm most passionate about, and one that is, you have to think about it. Like, I've got a magnet here, right? I'm going to show you what that does in a second. Whoops. What happens when you're basically putting jumper cables to the magnetics in your body then you're going to see all kinds of incredible things. And people have to understand as well why you see those amazing results. And some of them with chlorine dioxide in isolation, some of them with chlorine dioxide used in combination with other things. And you don't know in all cases what we need to do, even if we're at like 65%, for example, with cancer. What happens is like the 35% chance that you won't beat it is a huge percentage. And then the rate at which and to how well you beat that and how well you are, how strong your body is, and how electrically charged it is to be able to not have any, you know, issues that would come and embed, you know, the toxins, the parasites, the heavy metals. All of these are opportunistic in low voltage environments where the cells can't just remove these poisons when they're exposed, and instead they dock. They're going to receptors. They're getting transferred to areas where they shouldn't be because they're in the body. The body can't get them out, and so it's becoming amalgamated in your body. These are huge issues, and so what we're doing is we're strengthening the body to the greatest extent instead of just settling that, okay, well, I've got a 65% chance on using chlorine dioxide based on what they're doing. How do I get that to 100%? And this is why I'm saying you need to know about PEMF. You need to know about red light therapy. You need to know about nicotine. You need to know about urine therapy. You need to know about parasite cleansing. And then sometimes it's like, well, where do I start? There's so many things. And often for me, I'm getting people into what I refer to as nature's med bed, which is red light and pulse electromagnetic field, whether that is in one device, like for example, like we'll show you how you can do red light and PEMF in one, and then something that's like super affordable, like it would, like if you know, like let's say a payment plan over the course of 6 or 12 months, it'll cost you what it will cost for a single session. To go to a clinic and do a single session would be what it would cost you for the month to pay for that, and then to own it for the rest of your life and not pay the next year and the next year instead. It's just such a no-brainer, and then you could use it much more. You could use it for 9 hours. You're not going to be able to use that at a clinic in that way. So this is like a game changer and a complete no-brainer, something that will save a lot of money, especially because of how it can free you up in other things that you're spending and arguably wasting money on, because there are things that are offsetting problems that you shouldn't have, and that if you got to the root of that and you're focusing on something regenerative, the results would be much better. So arthritis, in simple terms, this large review looked at 17 clinical studies involving nearly 1,200 people with osteoarthritis, a common cause of chronic joint pain. Overall, PEMF therapy was found to reduce pain, improve joint function, and enhance quality of life, especially in people with knee arthritis. Many patients experience significant drops in pain scores. Some studies showed at around 60% reduction in pain levels, along with better mobility and less stiffness. Some people also needed less pain medication. The overall trend suggests that PEMF may help calm inflammation, improve circulation, and support the body's natural repair processes, leading to a meaningful relief in chronic joint pain. Here's the clinical study here. Muscle loss. Sarcopenia is age-related muscle loss that leads to weakness, slower movement, and high risk of falls and fractures. It reduces independence and quality of life, and many older adults find it hard to manage with exercise alone. A 2025 study showed that PEMF therapy can help older adults with sarcopenia, a condition marked by muscle loss and weakness. After just 12 sessions, guys, 12 sessions, participants had stronger leg muscles, moved faster and more steadily in walking tests, and reported fewer depressive symptoms. Muscle size didn't change much in such a short time, but the improvements in strength, mobility, and mood suggest PEMF may offer a safe, drug-free option for elderly people who struggle with traditional exercise. Here's the clinical study finding here. Cardiac function. PEMF has been investigated for its potential in cardioprotective effects following myocardial infarction. In a 2025 study on mice, PEMF improved heart function and reduced the size of scars left on the heart muscle. It works by calming inflammation, helping heart cells survive, and preventing too much scar tissue fibrosis from forming. Scientists found that PEMF turns down overactive pathways that normally drive damage and stiffening of the heart. Importantly, it was safe, causing no harm to the liver, kidneys, or gut bacteria. This makes PEMF a potentially promising modality as a non-invasive option for cardioprotective mechanism. as a non-invasive option for cardioprotective mechanism. Okay, so this here is showing the clinical study here. Diabetes. This study looked at how PEMF therapy may support people. Let me see. Make sure. Yeah. Oh, wow. This is amazing. Okay, Michelle. Wow. Okay, so Michelle just put this comment in. Thank you for everything you have done for everyone. Okay, let me just. Okay, hold on. Okay, so let me read this. Michelle says, thank you for everything you've done for everyone. I've been listening to your summits for years. Recently, my cat was diagnosed. Sorry, I don't know why I'm smiling about that. I have a cat. My cat was diagnosed with HCM, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. I immediately ordered a red light and also an infrared PEMF map. This has made the biggest difference in his health. This is funny. This cat is the luckiest cat in the world. Okay. Hopefully you're using this too, Michelle. I don't want your cat to outlive you. I just don't. Because cats are not supposed to outlive humans in this day and age. Mid-January, my cat had an incomplete extra heartbeat every 15 seconds. This was an improvement after 7 weeks of using these. A few days ago at the holistic vet, she couldn't find the extra heartbeat. My cat has never been happier. We both experienced increased energy. Okay, good. You're using it. He was running around like a kitten. Recently, I was experiencing extreme back pain and sat in front of the red light, and my pain was gone. I was in the red light. Thank you for helping me and maybe even saving my cat's life as you introduced me to this incredible healing device. Well, I'm touched. I really am. Thank you. Bless you. Chris, Cheryl, my son is similar, socially paralyzed. Socially, wow. I'm sorry to hear. Lane says, thank you, Jonathan, for this wealth of knowledge on PEMF and diseases with research backing statements. Amazing. Chris says, where do we buy this? Got it, Rebecca. Yeah, we'll answer more questions. Chris, I'm so depressed about this. I'm sorry. Thank you for sharing your heart and what you're going through. My dog wasn't walking well and kept falling and difficult to stand up, Moria says. Yeah, Cheryl, listen, okay, so I want him to have friends, a girlfriend, and so I'll read more on this, but I can work out what's happening from even this. He needs like the right therapies, and like chlorine dioxide, there's cases of schizophrenia being reversed. I'm not comparing the issue. I'm saying that if it could work for something like that, and you want to grab these tools and start implementing them, right? There's children that are completely nonverbal that have got a normal life because of chlorine dioxide, because of red light therapy, because of PEMF, because of nicotine. And you just keep watching the content and engaging with it and understanding it, and then trying these things. All of the therapies that I just said, like, why not use them? They're so awesome. Yes, yeah, you'll get the replay, no problems. Okay, fantastic. How often do you use the 660 setting for cancer? Well, like with our red light device, right? It was just here behind me. This has got 9 different wavelengths going on all at once. It's bigger than what it appears because this PEMF mat is in front of it. I'm putting it on the 9-hour timer so you can see the lights on. Okay. Oh. I'm going to just lean that down a little bit. I'm going to put that down there. So with that red light, okay, I'm going to put the blue on there too. So what you're seeing there is red light in action. That's 660 and 670 and 660. Okay, 480, 590, 630, 660, 670, 810, 830, 850, and 1060. So it's got all of these different wavelengths all at once. Okay, so what you got the little blue dots on the screen. What you're doing when you're doing a light therapy like this, it's so funny how it's showing up. It doesn't really matter, but it's kind of creative. Like the filmmaker in me is saying, okay, cool. Like, look at this bokeh that's happening, or the lens flare. What's it called? It's like an anamorphic thing. Anyway, what you want to do is get like all the wavelengths at once. And so the question is not really what you're doing for cancer as much as what you do for the body. Because if we focus less on the disease and more on the body, you get better results. Does that make sense? Right? So we're not treating the disease. Dr. Newsom says, I treat my wife. I don't treat disease. And I love that statement and that understanding, because what you're doing is you're assisting the body in how it works. The reason why, like, I didn't spend all the time studying like various parts of, like, I know the mechanisms of disease, and I understand them generally better than most doctors and even most holistic doctors. But like all the categories and all the verbiage around that, in some ways there's kind of some redundancies and things that, you know, are pretty inconsequential, because they're just a system that's out of order and that's not functioning properly. So what we do is we get to the core of how the body works, how it functions, how it generates energy, and then we're just working with how the body works versus putting out fires and you know, just working backwards. Okay, so diabetes. Let's see. Let me pull this out. Yeah, I'm gonna play you this clip from Dr. William Pollack.
Well, magnetic fields basically increase the development of apoptosis. They turn off those mechanisms in the cancer cell that try to keep the cancer surviving. And cancers have a huge repertoire of mechanisms to survive. They're going to survive almost everything. So if you do throw radiation at it, you may kill the cancer locally. But here's the problem. And what we're discovering now is it's not just about the cancer that you find. By the time you find that cancer, there's all kinds of cancer cells that have gone into the body, out into the skeleton, out into the lymph nodes, out into other tissues. So they're sitting there quiet. They're quiescent. They're not activated. And what happens then is, over time, various things will activate them. Inflammation is probably one of the biggest factors in causing the stem cells, what we call them stem cells, to activate. And so the magnetic fields then basically are treating the tissue. It's called the tumor microenvironment. They're treating the tissue to make the tissue healthier. And then that treatment of the tissue then either can cause the cancer to shrink, cause it to stall, to go into a pause phase. It can't reinitiate if it's just paused, if you don't kill it. And or it basically just, the body eventually whittles away at the cancer. So those are the goals that we have with the magnetic field therapy for cancers. And then the Russians did stage 1 studies, stage 2 studies. These are all breast cancer studies that I report in this presentation that I just did recently at the Beljanski conference. And so they work for stage 2, stage 3, stage 4 cancers. They buy people time with stage 4 cancers. Sometimes people live for, again, upwards of 8 or 12 years. Like that one case, one woman that I talked about, she lived 14 years. So basically no evidence of cancer left. So PEMFs have a whole lot of different actions in the body. One of the most important things they do is they increase the oxygen supply in the tumor environment. So where the tumor is, they increase the oxygen supply. But they also increase the oxygen supply throughout the body. So the whole body needs that oxygen. And within a tumor, you have areas that have increased blood supply. The tumor itself grows. It's called angiogenesis. It's developing new blood vessels to feed that rapidly growing cancer, which is much more metabolically active than the tissues around it. So it desperately needs blood. But at the same time, it's got areas in that cancer that are without oxygen or without enough oxygen. So they're called hypoxia. There are areas of hypoxia. Hypoxia then drives factors that cause the cancer to become aggressive, right? Because they're depleted with cancer. So now they have to become a defendant. They have to defend themselves, and they increase these factors that cause them to be able to become more aggressive and resistant to normal treatments. So PEMF therapy shuts that off. It shuts off that oxygen-enhancing process, provides the tissue stability, decreases inflammation, brings more nutrients into the tissue, helps the tissue to be more vibrant and alive by increasing energy production in the tissue. It sounds contrary. It sounds like it should increase the cancer growth, increase the growth of the cancer. But this is where it becomes fascinating. The latest science is showing us that even though it does increase the oxygen level, it actually shuts off the cancer supply, right? Because those are the mechanisms that cancer used to grow. So PEMF therapies and all this Russian research shows tremendous benefits in cancer in particular. But they studied other things too. They studied bone cancers.
Yeah. Okay. Was that fascinating? Did you like what Dr. William Pollack had to say? Fantastic. Yeah. And so does Cayenne. So who's a Barbara O'Neill fan? I just spoke with her at an event. You guys would love this, the photo of me with her. I was like leaning my head on her. Do you know why? Because she was my naturopath 20 years ago, 20 plus years ago in Australia, before you knew who I was or knew who she was or anything like that. So she's a sweet woman, and she's a powerhouse. She's the one that's educating. But yeah, if you're a Barbara O'Neill fan, drop it, say Barbara in the chat. And if you want to see that photo, you'll see it soon. But I was getting her up to speed on some of these therapies because she doesn't really understand it, and that's okay. You don't need everyone to understand everything. She's very focused in what she's doing, but I was there working on how I could help fix her husband with some things, and she's like, well, he just needs to do this, this, and this. And I was like, yeah, but that might be not as easy for him to do that, and break those habits or whatever. It's harder, right? You're kind of like making it harder for yourself by being like purist, and I'm just going to do this by diet alone. Well, how do you get around the deficiency issue? How many bowls? Okay, I want to see guesses in the chat. How many bowls of spinach? Yep. Yeah, got lots of Barbara fans. Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, that's so cool. Okay, so how many bowls of spinach would you have to eat to equal 1 from the 1950s UCLA University? How many bowls? Just have a guess. To equal 1 to get the same nutrient deficiencies. What are you guys gonna guess? What's the number? How many? How many would you have to drink? Pouring something. How many would you have to? 50, says Debbie. And Tammy, 650. It might be that high now. I hope not. I really hope not. Nancy, 10. Blanca, 75. Chris, 5. Sonia. And Evie, 100. Okay. Lynn, okay. Awesome. Great guesses. The answer is 43. So a lot of you guys are like right around there. And that this is just spinach. So there's certain things where like 250 might be the right number for certain foods that are even more deficient, or it might be 20 for some other foods that have maintained some more nutrient density. Do you see what I'm saying by putting this argument forward of why you would need to look at electromagnetic field therapies and red light therapies to get straight into the body with something that is in no way weakened from what it is in nature? Do you want to know how many times more powerful than the sun this is in the red and near infrared red light spectrum? Is it as powerful? Well, if it was, then you'd be as good at getting sunrise and sunset, but even then having the ability to put a sunrise and sunset in your home so that when you miss it, you've got it. Even that would be worth a lot. And I would personally then have one, because I'm not always going to get that based on just my schedule. Okay. So so what's the number? It's between 20 and 40 times the irradiance. Very easy to check, like not something that people can like lie about. You put a meter up to the sun, put a meter up to a device. I got meters here, right? In my backpack. And let's see, like here's an example. Yeah, here's some examples of meters, right? You actually use meters against devices. It's between 20 to 40 times more on the higher side in the red and near infrared spectrum. And then pulsed electromagnetic field, compare that to the Earth's magnetic field strength. It's about 1 million times the amplitude and about 2 to 3 times the 2 to 3 million times the magnetic field strength. Okay, so you're not getting anything like weaker in these senses. And just to deal with the deficiencies in and of themselves, you're interfacing directly with the magnetics of the body, which is what the food is coming in to help cell signaling. It's all one and the same. So you really do have an ability to get around some of the deficiency issues with helping the electrical charges, because at the end of the day, that's really the holy grail. Once you get this, then you kind of get it, and why the physics of health is more important than the chemistry of health. Then it's not that one is not important. It's just that this is the part that you can master this side, and then you'll see, you know, why did I just show you images on chlorine dioxide? That's mastering the physics, because it's mastering the oxygen and the voltage, the electrical potential through electrons and oxygen. It's recharging the voltage of the body. And then, like, let's say if you supercharge that then with PEMF or red light therapy, you're interfacing with the mitochondria to have the mitochondria then activate these enzymes like cytochrome C oxidase, which is an enzyme that's critical for cellular respiration, meaning that when you put light into the body, it causes cells to breathe. So it's not just that you could sit in your room and do the breathing. Unless you're getting the light exposure, sunlight is going to help activate this, but the red and near infrared spectrum at a higher dose is going to activate more of the cytochrome C oxidase, more of the cellular respiration. And so you're activating how cells breathe. You're doing things, you're interfacing with the mitochondrial potential. You're helping the mitochondria produce ATP through pulsed electromagnetic field. That's why you're working on diabetes and all these different conditions. So I'll speed through some of these things. So diabetes, look at this. Overall, the findings, last paragraph, support that PEMF is a promising non-invasive approach that helps reduce diabetic stress in the body and potentially support a healthier glucose balance. Okay, here's the human, let me pull that back. Human clinical research in this arena or area is still evolving, meaning that it exists and that there's more getting added, but there are collectively thousands upon thousands, it's into the tens of thousands of studies on this. So PEMF for chronic respiratory diseases. Okay, studies showed improvements in peak airflow. First paragraph, second sentence, how strongly someone can blow air out, and people were able to walk farther in a 6-minute walk test, which reflects better stamina and day-to-day capacity. The authors explain that PEMF may work by helping regulate inflammation, a key driver in COPD and asthma, and supporting muscle function, especially important for COPD, where muscle weakness can limit activity. Overall, PEMF appears to be a safe, non-drug option that may be helpful to those struggling. And here's a clinical finding on this here. Kidney disease. Okay, if you're struggling or you have a loved one, Rebecca says, well, work didn't need me, so I'm back. Well, you're excited about being back. I'm excited that you're back. That's awesome. How long will this talk last? Not much longer. I estimate around 20, 30 minutes from here, and then we'll go into questions. And so on the hour, you can expect for the questions part. So only about 20 more minutes on this section and about 30 minutes in the question and answer session, which is going to be great because I'm already getting to some of the questions, but not in detail. And I'm going to show published studies on the questions that are asked, and also teach a man to fish or a woman to fish in this case by showing you how to ask these questions and get the research yourself so that you can always be able to access the knowledge that you need when you need it. Okay, this study looked at acute kidney injury caused by sepsis triggered with LPS, a toxin that creates a strong inflammatory reaction. In the 6 subjects, the kidney showed swelling and bleeding in the tissue. Right kidney or kidneys, if you or a loved one is suffering from this, it could be a loved one, but I know that the trauma of this because it's happened in my family, and so let me know. Higher kidney strain blood tests and creatinine, and lots of signals of inflammation, low oxygen stress, oxidative stress, too many damaging free radicals, and cell death, apoptosis. When the rats were treated with either a pulsed electromagnetic field or radio frequency electromagnetic field, or both, many of those harmful changes moved back toward normal. Kidney tissue looked healthier under the microscope. Inflammatory markers dropped, oxidative stress markers improved, and cell death signals reduced while protective signals increased. In simple terms, the study suggests these field therapies may help protect kidneys during sepsis by calming inflammation, reducing oxidative damage, and helping kidney cells survive, which then shows up as better kidney function markers compared with untreated septic rats. Okay, that is really impressive, guys. And if you don't have a kidney issue, which maybe a lot of the people in this group, by the looks of things, which is great, and I'm thrilled to hear that, if that's the case, don't take that for granted. I don't have anything showing that I have any issues with my kidneys. It's one area I'm more concerned about than anything else, because I've seen what it does to people, and I've seen how, if your kidney function goes down, it's a huge problem, and you want to resolve that issue. Kira says, my father died of heart failure and kidney disease on dialysis. He finally passed when the dialysis failed. It's an awful way to go. I wish I could have been further along in my journey to have been able to help him more. Kira, bless you. You were perfect, okay? You did everything that you could, okay? I get it. I know what it's like. And we don't have any guarantees on life. And even if you had have known all these things, I'm not here to give guarantees. Nobody can. Life is fragile and it's precious, and I just want to acknowledge that. And you did everything that you could do, and you were perfect. Okay, so this is what happens, right? So we need to give people tools. We need to give people solutions, because this is how it gets real. Because at the end of the day, it's our loved ones that we're fighting for. And like, you could make every promotion in your job or make any success in business, but if you don't have your loved ones to spend it with, it's not so sweet. Like, this is why these conversations are some of the most important. And Kira, what you have is for you and for your future, which is what your dad would want. And if I could give nothing but to give my children what they needed for success, then I would feel complete and so happy. So if I were your dad, or if I were anyone here, a past loved one of any one of you, I would feel so grateful that you have knowledge that you can use to have a better life for you and your loved ones. Because the people that are resting right now, resting in peace or in heaven, however you see it, whether they're resting now, whether and when God resurrects us, which is how I understand it, that we're with God, our suffering has ended in this life, and there's a beauty to that in the way that I understand life. And I know that not everyone sees life in that way. One thing that is true for all of us that see things in these terms is that the suffering has ended, and people don't suffer in this life and go through the traumas of this life. And life is a continual battle, and there is a blessing in that. But yeah, selfishly, I don't want to lose anyone, because I love them and I miss them and I want them to be in my life. And I've lost people, and I want that. And that's the world and the life that I strive for and fight for. PEMF for hypertension. Some people are going to have an issue with what I'd say here, but I know Richard Branson, and I've spent a decent amount of time with him, and I found him to be a very kind and incredibly thoughtful, amazing person. But he lost his wife in November of last year, and you could have all the money in the world, and it doesn't stop you from going through these heartbreaks and traumas that really kind of rocked him and his world and his life. And it's also why I was there to support him, and why he's using our red light devices, which is funny. He has every resource at his disposal. That's what he sees as being valuable, and he's putting it in his own wellness center there for others to use, as well as what he's using in his own home. And so you kind of think that these are really like super expensive with like the most affordable medical devices, which is really cool. But you could no one's immune from this, right? We all go through this life, which has every combination of factors. And we've got a group here. I just want to tell you that Lori is pregnant, which is amazing. That's the first time I've announced it like that. If you want to say congrats to Lori, drop it in the chat, or I guess to me too. But we went through miscarriages between the two boys, Asher and Arthur, and then we had 2 miscarriages, and it was due to low progesterone levels. So like, Jonathan, but you know things like, why didn't you work that out? Well, I didn't, right? I didn't in that moment. And then I worked it out. And then that meant that we were able to have this baby. That then Lori was just crying today. She's like, the heartbeat is so strong, because she still has a trauma response. The heartbeat is so strong. And that was like literally the call, like part of the reason why I was a few minutes late was because I was talking to Lori about that. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you. I hear you. Bless you. So, why didn't you know, Jonathan? Like, how couldn't you work that out? I don't beat myself up with that. I used to. And everyone can go through these things. Okay, Lenore, yeah, you sent that to me here, private. Thank you for sending that. I'm just getting that over to the team. No problems. We can totally help you with that. Not a problem. And I'm just making sure. Okay, great. Bless you guys. Okay, I got to keep going here. I got to keep going. So you need to get this information. So PEMF for hypertension. So, but I want to have that heart for heart, because the information exists, right? So, and every slide will be here for you to pause. So you're not going to lack that. But what you may lack is sometimes the fortitude that comes from knowing, what you're doing, why you're doing it, the commitment, the resolve you have for your health. And if I'm able to help motivate you to do what you need to do for your health, help you with your knowledge, but also to motivate you and give you clarity in why your health and why your life and the life of your loved ones is so precious, then that's a blessing to me. And I want to do that for you. So take that to heart, please, because that's exactly why I'm here and why we don't do this through AI, because we could have AI, Jonathan, teach all this. I'm not saying that that's what I'm going to do, but my point is that would be it's really just programmed intelligence. We could just make it say what, we could write the scripts, but then have a visual delivery. But what I can do for you is help you get clear on the things that are holding you back. Like, some of you are paralyzed because of what reality has been for you for so long, and that you're still stuck in what has happened instead of what can be, and rewriting your story and then just taking actions. And I'm one of the guys that has been one of the best when it comes to taking action on things, which is why I got good at helping health problems and creating great products and doing all this, because I just kept taking action after action after action. And that's how I was able to reverse my own health challenges and live the life that I could live. And so I want to help you with that and help you get that research and that wherewithal and the motivation to do what you need to do for yourself. So after the program, PEMF, second paragraph sentence of the first paragraph, PEMF's groups arteries were better able to widen in response to blood flow. A sign the vessel lining and endothelium is working better. Okay, I'm going to play a video here. Check this out. Let's see.
So what is PEMF, pulsed electromagnetic frequency? Let's start with the idea of electromagnetic frequencies. What does that mean? Well, listen, you live on planet Earth, and planet Earth has an electromagnetic field around it. And our exposure to and our connection to the Earth's electromagnetic field is actually very critical for our health. Some of you might even be familiar with the concept of grounding, where we are purposefully exposing ourselves and connecting ourselves to that electromagnetic field of the Earth. Taking our shoes off, connecting with the grass, the sand, the ocean, getting our bodies fully immersed and connected to that electromagnetic field. On the flip side, you've also probably heard of EMFs, the electromagnetic field that radiates from microwaves, from cell phone towers, from high tension wires, from your cell phone. And there's health concerns potentially associated with those electromagnetic fields. So what's the difference? The difference ultimately is in the frequencies. There are certain electromagnetic frequencies that we can expose our bodies to that resonate with our body, with our tissues, with our cells, and therefore can help promote improved health and well-being. There are other frequencies that are very disruptive and potentially destructive, damaging our cells, damaging our tissues, causing ionizing radiation, causing oxidative stress to our bodies. It's not that there's one singular electromagnetic field that's either healthy or harmful. It's that there's a range of frequencies in these electromagnetic fields, some of which are very helpful and very healthy for us to be exposed to, and some of which are not. The goal then with PEMF or pulsed electromagnetic field therapy is to create a series of frequencies that do resonate well with our bodies. And if we can create those frequencies that resonate with our bodies, we can help increase the promotion of healing and regeneration. So why might somebody choose to use PEMF as part of their therapeutic approach to improving their health? Well, PEMF includes benefits such as pain relief, improving and enhancing the healing process, improving circulation, improved bone health, reducing inflammation, improved sleep, improved mental clarity, improving our immune system function, and also potentially enhancing our mood.
Okay, guys, hold the line here. Let's see. Okay, cool. All right, let's see. Good. Okay, perfect. Let me close this one. All right, can you see me fine here? I just changed like a video source there. Just let me know if this is coming through just fine. Okay, awesome. Yep, that's great. I think you're talking about the Candace read that we just had, where she did like an ad for us, so which is helpful. Okay, awesome, guys. So let me continue here. Okay, PEMF for hypertension. So the researchers also checked nitric oxide, a common marker aligned to vessel relaxation. Okay, ready? Just let me know it's all coming through fine. Okay, yep, got it. Cool. Appreciate it. Okay, sorry. And their systolic, diastolic, and mean arterial blood pressure all dropped. For example, systolic decreased from about 144 to 133, while the control group didn't improve. The researchers also checked nitric oxide, a common marker linked to vessel relaxation, and although it didn't rise significantly, the PEMF group still improved, suggesting PEMF may support blood pressure and the circulation through multiple helpful pathways, not just nitric oxide alone. Overall, the study supports PEMF as a promising non-invasive add-on approach for improving vascular health and supporting blood pressure management, with larger studies recommended to confirm, fine-tune for best settings. Okay, 12 weeks of PEMF therapy may improve blood pressure and vascular function in hypertensive individuals. Awesome. PEMF for anxiety. This was a great study here. It's helping people with anxiety by supporting calmer brain rhythms, often linked with relaxed alpha activity, and helping the nervous system shift out of an over-alert stress state. It highlights early research, including animal studies with some human brain stimulation studies, reducing anxiety symptoms, better relaxation, and sleep, and possible effects on mood-related brain chemicals. Overall, PEMF looks promising as a low-risk tool for anxiety. PEMFs, including higher and lower intensity PEMFs, have been found to be very helpful in the treatment of anxiety disorders, including PTSD. This is a clinical study backing this finding here. Neurodegeneration. Okay, so strengthening the brain's natural repair and resilience signals. Alzheimer's stress, Alzheimer's style stress, oxidative damage, and amyloid beta. PEMF helped more cells stay alive, lowered harmful free radicals, boosted the cell's own antioxidant defenses like catalase, and kept mitochondria functioning better. PEMF acted like a multi-tool, calming cellular stress, protecting energy production, encouraging the cell's built-in survival and growth signals. Here's the clinical findings here. With Dr. William Pollack, you heard from him before. And then PEMF for cancer cell death. PEMF helps fight cancer by targeting cancer cells without harming healthy ones. It works by temporarily opening up cancer cell membranes through a process called electroporation, right? So pores, making the cells more vulnerable to treatment. It allows cancer-killing substances like ROS, reactive oxygen species, to get inside cancer cells more easily. Since cancer cells are already more sensitive to these substances due to their high stress levels, PEMF may trigger cell death, stop their growth, and help support the immune system fight the tumor. Researchers are continuing to find and refine PEMF therapy to make it an even more precise and powerful tool for targeting cancer cells while supporting the health of surrounding tissues. Here's the clinical findings here. PEMF for breast cancer. A 2013 study tested very low strength PEMF on breast cancer cells in a dish and found something very interesting. With the right sweet spot settings, PEMF seemed to harm breast cancer cells while sparing normal breast cells. Sorry. Specifically, the researchers exposed MCF7 breast cancer cells to MCF10 normal breast cells to different PEMF settings, frequency, strength, and time. So they found that cancer cells were most vulnerable at 20 hertz for 60 minutes per day, and the damage built up over 3 days, showing more signs of stress and programmed cell death. Apoptosis measured in several ways: dye-based cell death counts, DNA damage, apoptosis tests, and electrical metabolic cell measurements. In contrast, the same PEMF settings did not harm the normal cells and even look slightly protective in some tests. The authors conclude this suggests PEMF could potentially be a non-invasive and add-on therapy that targets certain cancer cells without damaging healthy tissue. Here's a clinical finding here. PEMF for glioblastoma. This in vitro study suggests that ELF PEMF can be tuned to place glioblastoma U87 cells under stress and reduce their viability depending on specific field settings used. After longer exposure, some PEMF conditions were associated with lower cell survival and reduced expression of proteins that drive cell division, indicating a slowing of the cancer cell growth. Under the same effective conditions, the researchers also observed increases in markers linked to the cell's damage response and apoptosis programmed cell death, which is consistent with an anti-tumor cellular response. Overall, the findings support a promising idea. When appropriately optimized, ELF PEMF may help suppress glioblastoma cell growth and promote self-destruct signaling in cancer cells, highlighting the importance of careful parameter selection if PEMF is used as a non-invasive adjunct alongside standard therapies. Guys, have you not seen, like, if you're amazed, just say, I'm amazed in the chat. I want to hear about that because it is, let me just, James got that. Thank you for sending that to me. I'm just getting that over to the team. And okay, so with glioblastoma, right? So most of the people, not everyone, but most of the people here don't have glioblastomas. We could say that for every single disease, right? Most of you don't have one, like, you know, all of these, right? Many of you will have 1, 2, or 3, but there's so many different things that it will, the glioblastoma is not relevant for me. No, it's completely relevant for you. Why is it relevant for you? Because you have a brain. See the point? Because you have a brain. Is a prostate cancer study valuable for you? Yes, if you're a man, because you might not have prostate cancer, but you have prostate. Okay, if you do, or what it's highlighting is, or breast cancer. We don't have breast cancer. You have breasts. Well, what do you want to get those? I'm not saying that you'll get them if you don't use PEMF. I'm saying that if you are using tools that interface with these regions of the body, with these cells, then you're getting to the bottom of the issue. Blanca says, I'm amazed and thank you for sharing this important info. Tanya says, amazing. Dancy says, I had both a sister and a brother die from glioblastoma 4 months after their diagnosis. I'm so sorry to hear it. Was it within the last 4 or 5 years? And did they get the COVID vaccines? Or of you, the wife of a man? Yeah, exactly. Or if you're the wife of a man with prostate. So everything becomes relevant to you if you have children. And then, like, and this is why I'm emphasizing, because I'm going to share with you how you can get the tools for those that want that. I'm going to kind of skip over there now. father-in-law had glioblastoma and died within a few months, mostly due to hemorrhage post-surgery. And so I'm so sorry to hear this. And so this is the reason why we need to be doing things that are interfacing with these regions. By the way, chlorine dioxide, extremely effective. It's a free tool. Like, don't walk away from this webinar doing nothing. If you get a PEMF mat, great, do that. If that's something you feel like you want to do and you want to hear what we have with that, great, do it. Or red light therapy, great, do that. And they're super affordable. They're the most affordable therapies. Like my grandma, my abuela, 87 years old, is about to get off a thyroid medication at 87 years old, is no longer falling down because of cognitive issues that has happened due to toxins. She's quite a big drinker in a way, right? So obviously she's not under my, like, I can't tell her what to do, right? But I can when I give her something that helps her, and it's changed her life. And she's given her back her mobility. She's not falling. She's in a home. And that was something that it will cost her the same as what it cost her for her medications for the year. No, not all the medications, one medication. Her thyroid medication costs about $100 a month. The device she's using is a $1,200 device. It's the RL Pro 200. So it's like, these are the examples, and it's the same price as what the PEMF mat is, which has red light in it too, right? So that's what these things you'll spend the money anyway. You'll spend a lot more than that, because that medication then over the next 10 years is going to cost you $12,000. And then now compare that to $1,200, better quality of life, no side effects, thyroid producing hormone naturally, not needing pain medication, doesn't have pain in her body, using it twice a day now. She wasn't even using it properly. So those of you that are frozen with like, well, I don't want to do it incorrectly. Well, she wasn't using it properly, meaning that she didn't do anything that was harmful, because you can't do anything that's harmful, but she had her back against it. So you're not treating your thyroid as directly, but even still, with just having her back towards it, it corrected her thyroid function. So at the end of the day, you've got to do what you need to do in order to get the results that you want to have, and you need to employ and use the tools. And you've got great tools here to use. You've got incredible strategies and therapies. You've got free tools like chlorine dioxide, and red light and PEMF they become free, right? You pay for your water bill, but like, you don't really think about it when you got a faucet in the home. Yeah, thank you. Awesome. Bless you guys. Thank you, Walter. Okay, awesome. So then there's the clinical studies backing this finding here. PEMF for cervical cancer. Here's the studies on cervical cancer. You can read more about it. Check this out here. It's, again, the tumors grew more slowly when PEMF was applied. In lab experiments, second paragraph, second sentence, in lab experiments, cervical cancer cells exposed to PEMF grew, spread and invaded surrounding tissue much less. And in mouse models, tumors grew more slowly when PEMF was applied. Okay, so then you see the mechanisms there. So it's very effective. PEMF for colon cancer. Sorry about that. Hold on. So it's interacting with abnormal DNA patterns seen in these cancer cells, which is amazing. So the PEMF is doing that. PEMF was linked to lower survival of colon cancer cells in a dish, suggesting it may be able to weaken or kill some colon cancer cells under specific conditions. Here's the clinical studies here. PEMF for leukemia, blood cancers. Okay, so here's the study. This was with 30 millitesla, 7 hertz, for 3 sessions, 4 hours each, 24 hours apart. After PEMF exposure, some second paragraph, some leukemia patient cells showed signs of cell death, both early self-destruct signals and later stages of dying, suggesting PEMF may make these rapidly dividing leukemia-related cells more vulnerable. The research also found that changes in genes involved in apoptosis, programmed cell death, including BCL2 family genes and apoptosis-inducing factor IAF, AIF pathway, which may help explain how PEMF could help encourage leukemia cells to shut down and die, at least in controlled lab settings. And here's their clinical findings here. PEMF for bladder cancer. And so you see this here, and then come over to, here's this. Jason, where you heard from him just before. Okay, got it. And now look at PEMF versus grounding. Magnetic field strength, 1 to 100 plus, some even go up to 150. That's what we're dealing with here with what I'm about to share with you, millitesla. Look at the Earth's natural static field, which is 0.00005. That's 4 zeros, which is 50 nanotesla. That's 3 million times different, by the way. And then amplitude difference, 1 million times stronger natural weak static field. So both with the amplitude and magnetic field strength. And then if you want to see that visibly, which you should, with a magnet here, I'll grab that later, and I'll put the magnet on it, which I was messing with before. I think I dropped it off the table. Okay, I'll pull that up soon, and then I'll put that on there, show you what I'm talking about, because that's pretty fascinating. And then the frequency ranges, you can see there is 1 to 100 hertz, or 1 to 30 hertz is the most powerful region there. And it compared to 0 hertz, no pulsing, just steady. And then here was an example where over a 2-week period, human researchers exposed human stem cells to this strong PEMF signal, both 150 and 80 millitesla, and particularly the one, both grew and thrived over time, human stem cells. And the 150 group also, both groups were showing this collagen production, VEGF, which is vascular endothelial growth factor, bone building proteins. And VEGF helps create new blood vessels, essential for tissue repair and recovery. So this is relevant to all health and wellness. Okay, so this finding suggests that PEMF, a stronger PEMF, offers a deeper, more stimulating effect on healing processes. And now looking at infrared sauna, you see this study has 63% lower risk of sudden cardiac death, and that was according to a 2015 study published in JAMA Internal Medicine. And here's autoimmune conditions and infrared sauna. So you've got autoimmune diseases like RA, ankylosing spondylitis, reducing pain, stiffness, and fatigue. It didn't make the condition worse or trigger flare-ups, as well tolerated and safe. It doesn't directly change the underlying condition. This is what like a lot of studies will say, but that therapy with other therapies combined, we're seeing that you can get to the core of the issue. And we do see, I mean, this is a 4-week treatment period as well, that they're obviously trying not to make claims, and I'm also trying not to make claims. But it's not a Band-Aid. It's getting to how cells actually function, and that's why people get improvement. It's not just managing a symptom, and that's what sometimes they misunderstand in how they either word this or they are forced to word this in order to get the study published. So I'm just quoting what it said. It's up to you how you understand that. I think you guys all get what I'm saying here. As circulation improves, more oxygen nutrients are delivered into tissues. Second paragraph, why waste products are carried away. Heat also stimulates special protective proteins that help repair damaged cells. Okay, here's the clinical study here. Bone health. This study found that using a far infrared sauna twice a week for 3 months helped older adults become stronger, more active, and less frail. Participants improved their walking speed, physical fitness, and overall movement, all of which are essential for maintaining healthy bones. They also experienced less pain and better physical well-being, making it easier to stay mobile. There you go. There's the clinical findings there. Infrared sauna for DNA and cellular damage. Look at this. I love this. So it's helping support DNA and cellular health by gently heating the body from the inside out and using infrared light, which is absorbed directly by tissues. The light stimulates the mitochondria, our cells' energy factories, boosting energy production, reducing harmful oxidative stress, which can damage DNA, and activating protective proteins called heat shock proteins that assist in cellular repair. Infrared exposure also improves blood flow and oxygen delivery, helping nourish cells and remove waste. It strengthens the body's ability to protect and repair itself at a cellular level, making it a promising natural therapy for reducing long-term DNA damage. Here's the clinical finding here on this. These chromophores and photobiomodulation, which is light receptors, which then that comes more into the light therapy of red and near infrared, but infrared is not categorically, far infrared is not categorically a light therapy, but it's received still through mitochondrial function less directly. Light therapies in the red and near infrared spectrum are much more direct. And nevertheless, they're interfacing with how cells generate energy and activating enzymes like cytochrome C oxidase. Okay, 2025 pilot study found that 8 weeks of infrared sauna would help reduce chronic pain in people with spinal cord injuries. 3 sessions per week. By the end of the study, their average pain levels dropped significantly without any side effects. Researchers believe that heat may calm overactive pain nerves, reduce inflammation, increase blood flow, which together can help lower pain sensitivity. Okay, here's the clinical finding here. Infrared heat study. Okay, so here, quicker rehabilitation, better blood circulation, enhanced functional strength. Okay. Here's a great case study. Check this one out.
With you, Jonathan, finding out about infrared sauna, I went and started that 6 weeks ago, and that has just been an incredible tool into all the other things that I have put in place. The infrared sauna, for my memory, mainly the first time I felt the sweat coming out of my head and releasing out of my brain, it just felt so clear and felt so good. After the first infrared sauna and released all the inflammation off my brain, I went to go and read our power meter. I looked at the numbers. I wrote them down straight away. I came back over. I texted them and I remembered them. It was just incredible. It was just amazing to feel the difference from 3 years of struggling to write down some numbers, to be able to look at those numbers and just nail them first off. It was, it was a breakthrough, I feel, for me after 30 odd years with inflammation and battling with memory. To just remember those numbers was incredible. My energy has soared. You know, I used to have to rest all the time with my brain injury. I'd have to really schedule my days to be able to do my work, get done on the property what had to be done, and all the time having to go and rest my brain. With the infrared sauna and the protocols that Jonathan's been able to share with us and implementing them into my own life, my energy's just been increasing. I've been getting glimmers of that's how I used to be. That's how I was in my younger days. It's just amazing to feel that the surge of energy coming back. My life feels like it's coming back. And especially in the last 6 weeks with the infrared sauna, the change in my body has been incredible.
Wasn't she just the cutest thing ever? Her accent is just so cute. Even though I've got a similar accent, hers is New Zealand, and such a moving result. Guys, here's why to combine the PEMF and red light and infrared sauna. Okay, because what you're doing is your body needs more than one tool. Modern life drains the body through stress, inflammation, toxins, and poor circulation. Why PEMF and red light are such a powerful tool is because they're recharging the body, reducing inflammation, improving circulation, and it's thorough detoxification. It's restoring energy. So in summary, we've shown you how you can use this to improve your health, both far infrared, PEMF, and also light therapies. You could take action, and there's a risk-free trial. So if you want to know about how you can use some of these tools through what we have here, okay, awesome. Yeah, if you're interested in learning about what we have, just drop it in the chat. Let us know, like, if you want to hear like what we have, because I want that to be for those that want that information. Just let us know. I'll share that with you, and then we'll get into some questions, and then you guys can look at tools that you can use. Let me know. Just keeping an eye on that. And awesome. So yeah, let us know if you want to know what tools and then what specifications to look for, right? We went through various studies. The studies show you something. They show you parameters, right? They don't share with you devices. They share with you parameters. And because what they are doing is, because it's a published study, they are sharing with you the mechanism and what frequencies are used and what strength of the frequency. And then people then need to match with the devices. There's a reason why, for example, the Hope for Cancer treatment centers, you know, people paid like $43,000 to go there for 3 weeks. You got someone waiting on you hand and foot. They need to give the best tools to people in the patient follow-up program to make sure they get the best results. So why do they trust Red Life and our red light devices? And the answer is because we are matching the parameters of the studies the best of any company today. And not just one or two of the studies, but we have the best overall. And like, so lots of really awesome responses from you guys, like a tremendous, like resounding yes, I want to know more about that. I'll share that with you. And it gives you information as well and knowledge of what it is to look for, so that you can get something that you can really believe and stand behind and use for the best of your to get the best result. So it's a transformative, cost-effective healing tool, combat the rise in chronic diseases. It's a transformative tool for enhancing your health. Yeah, glad you guys are excited about that. It's reducing inflammation, neutralizing harmful free radicals, enhancing your immune system. You know it because you've seen the studies there. What you're seeing behind me here is 9 wavelengths between 480 and 1060. All the wavelengths I mentioned, the 500s, the 600s, the 800s, and all the way up to 1060, the deepest part of near infrared. So it's full spectrum. And these are dual lights, dual light emitting diodes. They do not flicker. Because of that, it's anything that's associated with negativity to do with LEDs. It's high flicker rate. LEDs have the highest delivery of light. The only thing that is comparable is lasers, and lasers can't be used for full body, and they're also not, they're cost prohibitive as well. They're very much to use with under supervision. Whereas what you want, to me, is something that's in your home that you can continue to use. Otherwise, you're still very dependent. And all the studies that we go through on red light, they're all on LED or far infrared. They're not on incandescent bulbs. There's practically none, right? So or halogen bulbs. So you definitely want high irradiance is the most important thing. And then secondly, the right wavelengths, and then making sure 0 EMFs. And that's why we use meters to prove all these types of things. But you have to be in a room where you don't have a signal. And when you got a high signal like this, you have to look at our other presentations. We'll have it up on the page because this is getting a high signal from the Wi-Fi. That's how damaging this Wi-Fi is in the area. But this, when I put this against the meter, it will be at a dead 0. And you'll see me do this. I do it on I've done it on probably 100 podcasts. Right. So these are the, you test these things, you prove them with meters, and that's why we could do this. And we have no liability like with FDA and issues like that, because we have 0 EMFs coming out of our devices. And all right. So again, this is, we just, in order to, basically fall under the right categories in how we market, we put low EMF, but same thing, EMF meter up against it, 0, not like a fraction of a reading, is a complete 0 reading at the surface or even a few inches away. Both is going to be a complete 0 reading on the EMFs. And they're not emitting these harmful frequencies, and that's why they're so effective. And that's why you'll see case studies like the ones that you just saw and many more. So we've got a special. This is a spring offer. It's 25 to 30% off select Red Life products using the code SPRING25 for individual items and SPRING30 for bundles. Okay, so that coupon is applied automatically at checkout. Okay, so you've got the sauna blanket, guys. Look at this. I mean, and something that is at disc quality, like you just saw a case study exactly on that device. The result has been amazing for what people are getting as a result on these products. Instead of spending $10,000 on a sauna, between $5,000 and $10,000 on a sauna, plus that, and some are more expensive than that, you're paying $697 with this discount, right? So you can save, and you've got all the parameters. It will, you can do that 15-minute sweat, unlock the benefits of sauna. Yes, the sauna blanket is wow. Rebecca, is that you in the testimonial? Was that that's awesome. Rebecca, share with us your result. Was that, I don't know if that was you, was it? Richard, awesome. Richard says, yeah. Well, yeah, it's through these therapies. This is how to do it. New product launch. And so we've got 8 coils. Normally you've got just 3. You've got red and near infrared light, which is 633, 660, 850, and 1060. Red and near infrared, high radiance light. And then you've got the high magnetic field strength of 150 millitesla. You've got the size here, which is if you are like struggling with weight, there's no way you could actually be wide enough to like fit on that. It's wide, right? You can see the one behind me, right? And have a look at this. Can you? No. Anyway, you can see I can put 2 of me against that, so it's nice and wide. You get 2 people on that. Hold on.
I had this horrible fall, got a horrible tear on the muscles holding my rotator cuff, both in the front and the back. And when I say excruciating, I'm telling you, it really was. There was no comfortable position. Finally, when my red light unit came, I do 20 minutes in front and 20 minutes in back. And I'm telling you, I have just minuscule pain.
Hey there, it's Jonathan Otto with Red Light. This is something really special that everyone needs to know about. What's that? Red light therapy. It's a game changer. It's something that's so unique, so powerful. It is so effective that it's just changing people's lives around the world. Check this out.
This therapy light increases mitochondria and increases ATP production. So not only do they come back, they have the energy they used to have.
I noticed my waist 2 notches back down on my belt in about 10 days. It's really been amazing.
Oh my gosh, the sleeping. I sleep like a baby now, and I cannot tell you how fabulous I feel, and I shouldn't be feeling this good.
I've been doing my red light since January 1st. My acne, it was like I was a 16-year-old teenager. It's all gone.
It's a real solution, and these are double-blinded placebo studies where they give even people fake lights. People don't get better on the fake lights. They most often get worse because conditions progress over time, and that's what's happening. So it's not a placebo effect. If it were, the placebo studies would show that people do well in the placebo studies as well, but they don't.
I had Bell palsy along with macular degeneration of the eyes and stuff. I'm 92. I'm going to be 93.
Oh, wow. You look fabulous.
And it really, really, where I can see things around me, on the side, where before I couldn't. The red light. Yeah. Boy, it's helped a lot.
If you can get light into the cells, and once you harness the energy production of the cells, you look at something like the Birmingham University study where they irradiate the rats with 1 minute of light per 1 minute of light per day for 5 days, they find a 45% increase in cell viability. So cells are 45% more effective at performing functions. There's a spinal cord injury study in mice. It was regenerative of the spine and it was neuroprotective of the brain, even a minute of exposure. Surprising, but amazing.
And then my neighbor has a dog that could not walk, 14 years old, and so I let her use the small panel, the small little one.
Yep.
And she told me.
Okay, can you hear me just fine? There's what I want to do is like let the offer then come up there on the page. For those that want to get a hold of this, I'll show you what it looks like here. Oops, not this one, this one. Okay, check this out, right? So you've got there the price there. You're saving over $400 on that. And again, it's the red, near infrared, far infrared heat therapy, and PEMF all in one. So it is the only one of its kind. It's got the 9-hour timer on it that allows you to use that during sleep. If you want to do that, you have that option, which is not common. I don't know of many or any other devices that are doing that. And typically you'd be looking at like $6,000-7,000 for this type of thing. So we wanted to give back to the customer and make this amazing for you guys. So this is it. You see the spectrum, the 633, the 660, 850, 1064, where it's penetrating the epidermis, dermis, subcutaneous tissue, and bone interior tissues. There's the 13 different layers that are in that device. And then you've got the different stones, from the white crystal, the black negative iron stone, the green negative iron stone, the red, blue, black crystal, yellow, white, onyx, and amethyst, and also the brown. And so with the sauna blanket, you've got a 30% off saving using the code SPRING30. And there you're saving close to $800. So it's a great package combo that you can get on this page for a limited time. The other like amazing bundle. So we've combined these for like knowing that some people, they've got an interest in going after one or another or something like this. And this comes highly recommended. It's exactly what you see behind me. There's the red light, the 300 Pro Max, which is 288 lights, dual lights, 205 milliwatts per centimeter squared at 3 inches, the most powerful light delivery you can find, which is why the Hope for Cancer Treatment Centers use it, which is why Mike Adams and Dr. Lee Merritt, Dr. Ed Group, these guys they're using it for themselves, for their family, for their patients or their clinics or their clients. Dr. Daniel Pompa, they're using it and for their own health and for their clients. It's been really amazing, and I'm so grateful to be contributing so deeply to this field. This one, you're saving over $1,400. You're accessing a 30% off code there, so you're not paying $4,700. You're paying $3,200 here. So you can grab that. It comes with a free stand, so you can be doing these at the same time. And it's one of the most life-changing tools. So you could be paying, for example, on a payment plan over 12 months, under like around the $200 or $300 mark a month, as an example, which is what, that's maybe 2 massages a month, right? But for something that could do so much more, that could be used by the whole family. And that's why you do the math on that. One supplement, $50 over the year, is going to cost you $600. If you're a family of 4 like me, that's going to cost me $2,400. If I am just using 4 supplements for myself, which I'd say you'd have to do at least that number if you want to have the benefit with a supplement protocol, that's what I'd be paying even on one person. Now, over the next 10 years, that's $24,000. Whereas in this case, it's one and done. You have it. You can use it for the next couple of decades as you wish. That's what we expect. The panel, for example, is 50,000 rated lifespan hours. With a family using it, it's about 80 years, which maybe sounds far-fetched, but that's FDA Class 2 certifications, right? So that's the powerful nature of that. You've got all 9 wavelengths there, from 480 up to 1060, which is 480, 590, 630, 660, 670, 810, 830, 850, and 1060. All 9 wavelengths, so you can see that visibly in all the different colors that are there in the image, as well as behind me. And this is for illustration purposes only, so you'd have this much closer. Even though it would work like that, people would get massive benefit still, but you get more benefit having it an inch away, 3 inches, even as little as a centimeter away. So special spring offer: purchase any item or package in the next 24 hours and receive a Red Life Pro Belt as a free gift. That is right here. And I had a woman, Dee Dee, and we've tracked so many cases like this, but here's one that's on the top of my mind. She's a part-time massage therapist, had to quit because she had a 9 out of 10 pain score. It's gone down to a 0. Here's the device. She put this on her back, turned that on, and she went to a 0 out of 10. Not saying everyone will get this result, and it's an extraordinary result. She got a paying at zero. She was able to reclaim her income for something that, you know, we sell these for just under $400, and you could go and purchase it. You're getting it as a free gift over the next 24 hours. So we just want to encourage people that are like action takers, and like that's the regular price. When we sell it on discount, it's $397, and you can get that as a free gift when purchasing any program there. So you get 3-year warranty, 1-year warranty for Precision Devices, 3-year for the panel, 60-day money back guarantee, free shipping within the United States. It's very reasonable for international. Enjoy now, pay later, so you can break it up into payment plans, pay in 4 or pay monthly over 6 or 12 months through PayPal, buy now, pay later. And then you've got other potential options there. And I just want to say congrats on showing a genuine interest. And we've got something special for you. You have access to the special free gifts that we mentioned previously, which was the bonus episode on PEMF, Beyond the Diagnosis. And this offer ends April 5th, 11:59 p.m. And I put the offer on the page there, so you can grab that. So you could just go there, because people are wondering, you know, where do I go? Where do I get it? I just made it live there. So it's available there on the page. You can simply click on it and go over there, check out the offer very simply. It's simple and straightforward. You now have limited access to this exclusive never before bonus episode of Beyond the Diagnosis. And then here's a question and answer, which I'm going to go through with you guys now. But remember as well, this date is just this coming Sunday on the 5th at 11:59. So I want you guys not to miss out on that. We've got as well, the other issue is that, yes, it's on discount. Yes, we have it available to that time, but we have another issue that we had 500 people live here, and this just was this like a segment. It's a very kind of, it's a segment that is available at this moment. But what happens is when the 20, 30 plus thousand people, or the few 100,000 people that are on our email list, for example, get exposed to this, then that can mean that, well, it does mean that we sell out very quickly. And because of that, I just want you guys to know, if you want that, if you want those free gifts, you have to jump on it. You can't just go, maybe I'll come back later. And that discount with the belt is only valid for the next 24 hours. Okay, so I just want to bless you guys with that. And I've got questions now to go through, and this is going to be fun. And sorry, I got the winners in here as well. I know some of you guys are excited about that. Let me just pull this up. Okay. Let's pull this up. All right, guys. So I'm going to take the next 15, 20 minutes to go through these questions. The winners are, you guys know who you are because you're there in the chat. We don't know if people, look, if we doubled up, we'll, it's Richard, Bianca, and Rebecca. Congratulations. You guys are awesome. And there you go. And if I've made a mistake there, by making a mistake, meaning that there is way more Rebeccas and Biancas and Richards than I thought, just let us know. I'm not going to let you down. That's not fair. So therefore, we may be giving out more of these than we expected, but maybe I'm right. It's just the 3. But congratulations. And this is the human battery webinar. Okay, so how is prolotherapy same or different than other PEMF? It's an injection-based treatment, often dextrose, painful areas. It's triggering mild inflammation. PEMF is electromagnetic waves stimulating cells, so very different. And one is also like a very precision in one area versus us using it systemically across the body. And as you can see, it's often dextrose. I'm not against it. I've used it even before on like my father-in-law, and it was helpful. But I much prefer using therapies that helps the body regenerate versus just to spot those issues, because it's like a prairie dog situation. Plug up one hole, it bounces up another hole, and then you have this continual challenge. I have a tumor in each adrenal gland. Yeah, I read this one before. PEMF is not being found to cause tumors to grow, but there's very limited research on hormones secreting adrenal tumors. Because your tumors are active and affecting blood pressure, it's best to avoid using PEMF directly over the adrenal area, but you still may use it on other parts of your body. we like, for me, I would do it personally. I've even got to be careful saying that. I would be doing this personally. I'd be laying on the mat because it is gentle and yet effective. So it's really kind of up to you based on what research you're finding and what supervision, help, and care that you have, which you've got to navigate these challenges. We just can't say things, for example, if it's not there. But I could tell you that yeah, these are the things that I'd be personally doing because, like it's saying that, you know, it's not causing tumors to grow. Okay, so treatment of postmenopausal osteoporosis with recombinant such and such with this with PEMF. It improved bone strength, increased bone building activity, slightly improved calcium levels more than PTH alone. It's a supportive tool. That's the research backing this finding here. Bianca, has any of these been used successfully for the common issue of prolapse? Okay, so there's some evidence on this. Here's a study on disc prolapse in spine. PEMF significantly reduced pain, improved daily function, and helped relieve pressure on affected nerves. This suggests that PEMF may support the body by reducing inflammation, improving circulation, and helping tissues function better. This indicates that it may be helpful as a supportive therapy, especially for symptom relief and overall tissue health when used alongside appropriate pelvic floor care. Here's a clinical finding here. I have hip replacement. Will this interfere with PEMF? Suggests that having hip replacement does not interfere with PEMF therapy. It's been studied with people with joint replacements. It's supporting bone healing, reducing inflammation, improving recovery around the implant. So you could see more of this. It does not negatively interact with the metal implant. Instead, it may actually support the surrounding tissue and healing process. Main caution is with electronic implants like pacemakers, not passive metal joints. Okay, so there you have it. And there's the studies backing these findings here. Pretty impressive, right, guys? Are you guys getting answers to your questions like this from other guys out there? Fantastic. Yeah, well, it's Rebecca. Yeah, exactly. Rebecca Smith and Rebecca, you both get it. No problems. Bless you guys. Blanca, that's awesome. Oh, that's so sweet. That's so great. I'm excited for you. That's awesome. Hey, brother. Hey, dude. Just 1 second here. Right. Okay, got it. So here's the answers here for this one. Okay, let's go here. Jonathan or team, how to use the Pro Belt for the 1060 frequency. Oh, got it. It is here. It's already, when you see red and near infrared. Hey boys, you boys can come out here. That's McKenna. Say hi and then come out here, boys. All right. So it's going to have all wavelengths functioning, which you could, like, for example, if you grabbed, like, you went and purchased a meter, you'd see all the wavelengths then showing up. Red in the 630, 660, 810, 830, and 1060. And here, what you'd see is when you're looking at the pulsing, this is pulsing, right? Which I'm not generally recommending that for people, even though it's an option. And if you see some studies that support that with your condition, then you're welcome to use it as you wish. But that's pulsing. So you've got the 1060 is already there. It's if red and near infrared is selected, then it's got those wavelengths there. I Will PEMF help my autistic children? Hip replacement, will this interfere with PEMF? So hip replacement, we talked about it. PEMF may help children with autism. This is a study here. Children showed improvements in language skills. Hey, boys, you guys need to be whispering now. Language skills, attention, behavior, social interaction, along with reduced symptoms like aggression, hyperactivity. PEMF appears to work by calming inflammation in the brain, improving communication between brain areas, and helping balance brain activity, which can make it easier for children to focus, communicate, and regulate their emotions. Some children also experience better sleep, which can further support behavior and development. Okay. All right, let's go here. Okay, so it appears to be calming inflammation in the brain, improving communication between brain areas, and helping balance brain activity, which can make it easier for children to focus, communicate, and regulate their emotions. Some children also experience better sleep, which can further support behavior and development. Here's a clinical finding here on this. James Peck, any research on metastasized prostate cancer and PEMF? This research here suggests that PEMF may help fight cancer by slowing down tumor growth and helping cancer cells die, while leaving healthy cells mostly unaffected. It appears to work by disrupting how cancer cells grow and divide, reducing their blood supply and triggering natural cell death, apoptosis. Some studies in animals showed tumors shrinking, and in early human studies suggest PEMF may help stabilize cancer or reduce symptoms like pain. Importantly, PEMF is non-invasive and generally well tolerated, and it also can be used alongside other treatments to improve outcomes. Guys, what I'm going to do, actually, I need to show you guys this. Yeah, I'll be able to put this microphone down here. So I'm going to show you this. Okay, so now I'm going to show you these devices. So you can see this. I have to pull this out here. Okay, So I want to just show you what this is like. Okay. Let me get close enough here. Okay. Okay, so here we've got your control interface. Let's see if I can move this forward. Okay, so here I can control everything. Not that I actually need to change anything, because you could just keep it on all, because you're getting all the wavelengths. Whoops. Yeah, I could keep it on all, or red and near infrared, yellow, and you could see how I'm changing, right? All the wavelengths, yellow. That's just near infrared, there's blue. But there's no need to isolate these, though you can. And if I wanted, like for sleep, for example, or eyesight, look at how bright that is. It's absolutely like, have you seen something that bright before? Right? And that's what visibly is showing you how powerful that is, and why I was, Robbie, like he's, just before McKenna came in, because I got checked out of my room. I tried to check in again so I could do this webinar, but I ended up in McKenna's room. He let me use this room. I'm like, okay, I kind of demolished it with setting up the studio. You're not seeing what's behind me here. Anyway, his dad was like, at the gym, they're nowhere near this bright. And I'm saying, yeah, they're not. And which is, most devices are not that bright. And it's the brightness that makes it powerful. That irradiance that you're seeing, right? The camera can't even handle that. Oh. Rebecca says that's amazingly intense, right? And so that's part of the reason why the dad, the boys have got my phone right now, but all right, so here we go. So that's illustrating that. So that's illustrating the 205 milliwatts per centimeter squared at 3 inches. That's what's powerful about that, where you've got the highest tested irradiance, and then you've got the 9 most important wavelengths, no EMFs. So it then becomes a no-brainer. You've got 288 LEDs, double that because it's dual. So that's 532. And then with the with what you see here, and I'm going to put on the magnet. So the reason why you'll get a little magnet in the mail with this, and I'm going to put this up to 30 hertz so you can see it in action. So here's the frequency. You should see that that's F9. So you'll get instructions, and then on our webinars, then you'll be able to learn more. But you could choose the wavelength, for example, or the frequency, sorry, and then you choose the one that's like best for what you're trying to deal with. And the lower numbers are better for sleep, for example, like 1, 2, and their sleep settings all set into that. So on the 9 hour, it's going to go through the evening. And I just want to see if you guys can see this. Okay, so now okay, can you hear that? Pull that out. Okay, so you can see that. Tell me if you can hear that. Yep, you can hear it. Okay, so it's not like a magical magnet. And so the 8 coils means that you've got much more of the area exposed. And this is visibly showing you what's going on inside your body and why it's like PEMF is like jumper cables for the body. Okay? Tell me if you went to anywhere on Earth and you put this magnet, would you see this happen? So I could visibly show you why you're getting such a strong signal, which is so much bigger than grounding, and why it has such a profound effect. So this is a great tool to just illustrate that. And it also makes sure that when you got it, just put it on because you're wanting to make sure your mat is working. Okay, so that is good and fun. All right, so I'll do the rest of the presentation down from here. And McKenna's seeing me in action here. See this, McKenna?
Yeah.
See this magnet?
Yeah.
Pretty cool, right?
I don't know what it is, but yeah. I'll listen to the presentation.
Yeah, awesome. So what I was telling the guys there is that your body is relying on magnetics to be able to communicate.
Yeah.
And that's why when you're at night and you see the static on the sheets is because you're generating an electrical charge. And the less your electrical charge is, the more disease or problems you'll have. The higher the electrical charge, the better.
Okay.
And so if you can't zap people, as an example, it's showing that your signal is like down, and then that's a low voltage environment. Cancer can thrive in that environment. Pretty interesting.
Okay.
And heavily studied. It's not just like a theory that I came up with. It's a proven science. So what you're doing is you're stimulating the body, and that's why people heal, people reverse insomnia, and so forth. So, and then the combination of red light and PEMF is taking what exists in nature, and it's amplifying it so that you're able to get much more of what you get in nature, but you're following the natural healing processes that exist in nature. You're not like trying to beat God. You're using what God has made and you're amplifying it. So that's the concept, bro.
All right.
And so this is how you could do these two together, right? So you can see me, and I'd have this on a stand, but this is the powerful combo. This is over all my organs. And now on the PEMF mat, I'm getting the Earth's magnetic field underneath me. If you're out in nature, what would you be doing? You'd be getting the Earth's magnetic field, and you would be getting the sunlight at the same time. So you're actually designed to receive both at the same time. And the studies that were done that showed the combination therapies, they far exceeded the individual results. And if you're doing PEMF, like with the mat, you've got red and near infrared built into here, which is great, but clearly there's a high concentration of light in the device. Okay, so with that, I'm going to go to continue the presentation while I've blown your eardrums out with this. Okay. James is saying, wow. What made you say, wow? Okay, so there we go. That's in the background. McKenna's laughing at me.
No, I'm laughing at James.
That's great. All right, so there we go. I'll just keep that light, which, you know, this will be much better for my lighting, but I need to show what this does. So therefore this. All right, so a few more questions. Well, I'll go through all the questions that we've listed out the studies for. And guys, this will only take about 10 minutes now. We're in the final stretch. All right, here we go. McKenna in the background is about to learn.
I'm excited.
Great. Dude, that was awesome. Yeah, it was. Maybe this is the same, James. We did that on prostate cancer. Did I get up to this one? Did I share this one? I don't think I shared this one. So prostate cancer, well, my buddy McKenna in the background doesn't want to get prostate cancer. No one does, because it makes you impotent typically when you follow conventional pathways, whereas with red light and PEMF, it was showing that people didn't have the issues with incontinence and impotence after the treatments, and they had about a 400% increase in putting prostate cancer in remission. That was a 413-person study from published in Lancet Oncology. So that was with red light. PEMF is also showing amazing results. It's fighting cancer by slowing down tumor growth, helping cancer cells die while leaving cancer cells, healthy cells, mostly unaffected. Which would actually, the reason probably why it's using the words mostly unaffected is because there is something what you think is a healthy cell, but it actually isn't. And so then those ones are going. So I actually perceive that as why this study has shown that, because other studies are showing specifically that it makes the fibroblasts, the normal healthy cells, be more effective and show improved function. And that continues over and over again. So two things can't be true. It's like, what's the result there? And so nevertheless, that's not like the juice is worth the squeeze in this case. It appears to work by disrupting how cancer cells grow and divide, reducing their blood supply and triggering natural cell death, apoptosis. Some studies in animals showed tumor shrinkage, and early human studies suggest that PEMF may help stabilize cancer or reduce symptoms like pain. Importantly, PEMF is non-invasive, generally well tolerated, and may also be used alongside other treatments to improve outcomes. There's the clinical study there. And look at this: breast, prostate, lung, ovarian, pancreatic, thyroid, colon cancer in vitro and in vivo in life. And this is PEMF, pretty impressive, right? And hepatocellular as well. So, and documented in humans, not just in vivo, which could be in animals, but in this case, even in humans. So very impressive. James, again, helped with damage from radiotherapy, bladder cystitis, proctitis, and blood vessels and nerves, etc., that was destroyed after radiation. Research such as this suggests PEMF works by mainly reducing inflammation, improving circulation, calming the nerve system, which can ease symptoms like pain, burning, and discomfort in bladder conditions similar to radiation cystitis. PEMF has shown potential to reduce chronic pelvic pain and improve overall comfort, even though it doesn't directly repair the structural damage caused by radiation, which these are short-term studies, right? So I'm talking about people using these in their homes for years and decades, and then doing other therapies that are supportive, like light therapy in combination. So I would personally strongly counteract that clause, because we have seen in the studies the exact opposite. But I like sharing the studies, what they say in entirety, but once you put it all together, you can kind of get clear on that. Okay, there's the clinical study there. Cheryl, is this a daily regime? Okay, cool. Grounding barefoot on the ground work equally? No, it's because it's like I'm saying, 1 million times the amplitude, 2 to 3 million times the magnetic field strength, PEMF versus grounding. And you saw what is an indication of that with the magnet. You can see that that's not what you can find anywhere on Earth. And if you did find that somewhere on Earth, they would arguably be the healthiest people that live there, or people from around the world would travel to go there because they would want to get the results that people get in these areas, because the higher the magnetic field potential from the Earth, the better the charge, the better the health. Okay, so you can see the concept there. And then grounding mats are the same as grounding because it's just transferring it into your home. So it's, again, it's about 1 million times the difference. Though all the studies I've been citing to you, none of them were on grounding, because it's just not significant enough for even people to put a lot into it. There are studies out there on grounding. They're nowhere near to that extent. That being said, what is the big takeaway for anyone and everyone? Get grounded. It's going to help you a ton, because this is giving you an indication of that. So I'm not counteracting that. And if people don't do anything other than get more sunlight, get more earth grounding, do chlorine dioxide, you're going to do better, right? And then those of you that really want great tools in your home, you drive a good car, or have a nice kitchen bench, or have a nice, tiling in your home. Like, I think it's about time to get something that in this case is going to cost you, like I'm saying, like what it would cost for potentially just one other medication. I'm not talking about the really expensive ones. I'm talking about the cheap medications for the monthly cost on that single medication, which once you're on one, you're like on a timer to be getting more and more and more until, you are spending way more than you expected to, and dealing with more side effects than you expected to. So what's happening is when people then get these tools, then you're getting off the other system in general, and potentially, depending on as you use it and get results, then if you have less need for those medications, or you don't have the chronic pain, or you don't have the insomnia, you don't need the other things that you're wasting money on, which may be also supplements, which then becomes very hard to maintain, because one supplement, like I mentioned, could cost $2,400 for like a family of mine for the 4 of us. That'll cost me $2,400 for a year, and $24,000 over the next 10 years. And divide that any which way, and it may not work either, or be available in the body, be absorbed, etc. So which one is better, PEMF or red light, when it comes to arthritis, back pain, osteoporosis, or thyroid cancer? PEMF, red light have benefits. PEMF tends to have stronger overall research, especially for joint pain and bone health. For arthritis and back pain, PEMF has been studied extensively. In this study, current evidence using pulsed electromagnetic fields in osteoarthritis, a systematic review, PEMF showed significant pain reduction and improved joint function, with up to 60% reduction in pain scores and better mobility. For osteoporosis, PEMF is again more evidence because it stimulates bone cells and bone strength, where red light is more limited here. In simple terms, PEMF is all around better option. But it is a little bit debatable. Like, some people may do better on the other, and if there's slightly less research on one than the other, it doesn't mean that it's a hands down then because of that. I think that it's kind of so neck and neck. And the thing is, like with our PEMF mat, you're going to do it both in combination anyway, if you're just doing the mat, but you'll do really well with the red light device. With thyroid conditions, red light is definitely the best, and red light would be, if it's for various types of cancer, red light and methylene blue then may be the best, but PEMF is also very strong. And so I hate for people to lose a critical option. There's a clinical study back in this. Which one is better, PEMF or red light when it comes to, done. From Minnie again. Lane, can you sleep on the mat? Yes, you can. Our new BioForge mat is designed for extended use and can be safely used for up to 9 hours, making it suitable for overnight sessions. You could put a blanket on, or when you put the heat section on you could put a towel. It's going to go through that, as you saw with the magnet. If I had held that up an inch, you'd see it still vibrating at the same frequency without touching the areas. Okay, I'll show you that. So now that's going through my hand and it's still vibrating. And then you'll see the same thing with me holding it. That's an inch above. So you can see there's my finger in between it, and my finger isn't touching. And if I take my hand off, still above. And it's, once it gets to, that's about 2/3 of an inch. Once it gets above that, then it's still providing a signal that's rattling, but not as much, right? So if you put something on that thick, you're going to weaken it quite a lot. Okay. Woo! All right, guys, we're in the tail end here. You guys got me going here. Okay. All right. Any of these studies been done on dogs and pets? Yeah, there are. So this one is particularly on dogs treated with PEMF. Let me make sure I'm here. And improvements lasted longer with standard medication than with just standard medication alone. Randomized clinical study. Yeah, big guy.
My neck, like, hurts.
Why does it hurt?
Because
why? What? I'm just asking. Why does it hurt? Why does it hurt, big guy? Well, I'm trying to help you. Hey, wait. Is it here? Is it like, did you get sunburned?
Yeah.
Is that the reason? Okay, what are you going to do? Okay. All right, I'll fix you. Ready? Voila. Okay, the way to fix that, Arthur, is you go on the red light, okay? That will fix it.
But like, just put the ring on my neck, like the wrapping one.
You want to put the wrapping one on?
Yeah,
one. Because you don't want to sit in front of it, right?
Yeah.
But you should sit in front of it. It's going to be better.
No, I like it.
Why not? Okay. This one's only got a little bit of battery, so it's going to die pretty quick. Hey, guys, say hello to Arthur. Okay, right. We're going to put this here. Okay, like that. Like that. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this like this. Is that good? I know it's a bit uncomfortable, but I'm trying to get it over the area. Okay. Is that good? It looks cool.
Mm.
Okay, it doesn't look cool. I admit it doesn't look cool, but it doesn't matter how it looks. People are saying, hi, Arthur. Hi, Arthur. Chris says hi. Jamie says hi. Chris says, so sweet. Rebecca says, oh. She says, oh. Look, they're giving you, see, look at this. Jamie gave you a love heart. James gave you a love heart. Say, Chris says, what a blessing. Should we give them some images? Which ones do you want to give them?
Heart too.
You want to give them a heart? Okay, what else? Which other one do you want to give him?
Mad.
The dancing man?
No, the mad one.
Okay, you want to give them the mad one? Okay. You want everyone to think that we're mad at them?
No.
This one says, OMG, he's so beautiful.
Can you do that one?
The monkeys?
Yeah, the monkeys.
Okay, the monkeys. You got to keep that away from your mouth. Okay. Let's find the monkeys. No, I don't know where the monkeys are. I don't know where they got the monkeys from. All right.
The sunglasses.
All right, we'll send that one to them. Okay, cool. You got it, man. Hope you feel better, Arthur. That's what Jamie said. Jamie wants you to feel better. Who's that? You? Yeah. So you guys got to do a webinar, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, okay, cool. All right, guys, that's a wrap for now. I'm going to show you these last images here. 1 second. I know. I'm sorry. Sorry, Robbie. Okay. All right. 5 minutes and I can get off that, yeah? All right. Okay, cool. All right, guys. I'm going to go through this really quickly. So, Bianca, yep, we got that study. Oh, dude, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's good for you, man. Okay, well, you can. Oh, dude, this is so awesome. We got McKenna in the background. He's on the like. I mean, this is just awesome. Like, you couldn't even plan for this, man. And then Arthur's needing it for sunburn. There you go, Arthur. Yeah, you can put that on you, bro.
Oh, it's heavy.
Yeah. You can like lean it up against yourself. I'll put it with near infrared as well because that'll definitely get through the clothes.
All right. Do you take the clothes off?
Well, yes, you can, but the near infrared will go through the clothes. And here we go. Wait, Robbie, I told them about what happened with you with your eyesight. Can you just tell them about that happened? Because they don't believe me. They think I'm a big liar.
They think you're a liar?
No, they don't. I'm just teasing.
They think you're telling the truth.
No, I would assume, but just in case, that was a cool story.
So I did two presentations, one day apart. The first day, I leaned in very close to the great big screen. It's a 10-foot tall screen.
You're right.
And I could not see a word. So then the next day at the start of the presentation, I started reading just straight from the presentation. And I turned around and I said to this guy, I said, holy fuck, I can see. And it was after 5 minutes of putting the red light in my eye. And I can still see better today. So.
Yeah, you noticed that,
yeah? Yeah.
And how do you feel like I think you noticed something with energy or something, no?
The red light always gives me more energy.
Yeah, you noticed that.
I like to do it in the morning and I get energy, but I've never stuck it in my eye like that before. And the one I go to is just at the gym, so it's kind of weak, I think, compared to this thing.
You can tell that in terms of how bright it looks.
Oh my God. You turned on the light in the room and I was, that's not going to do anything. And it was like, wow. It was crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
This is great stuff.
That's awesome. I mentioned that you'd said that, so it's always nice when somebody can actually just go and say the exact same thing. So you hold on a second. I'm running. I told them that I'm on this because I couldn't get another room tonight, and you were so kind to give me your room. And they've got a webinar starting in 20 minutes, but I'm going to be off here in less than 5 minutes, so I can give them their room so they can prepare. But you're a blessing, Robbie. And they're awesome guys. Check out the Flip-Flop Flipper if you want to learn about what Robbie and McKenna are doing. Real estate, if you're interested in that. These guys are amazing at it. I follow them for a reason. Anyway, just giving some love back your guys' way. You got it, homie. Yeah, well, grab them both just in case because it's one of those. And I don't need it anymore.
Okay.
Bro, I appreciate you. All right. So this was the study on this and this. Jerry or Jerry, will PEMF help a low? Could it be used in a recliner? I cannot lie. Flat, yes. You can use it on a recliner. Is advice to keep the device flat? No, it's totally fine. It can bend easy, so that's not an issue. In fact, I would say you generally could sit that on a couch, but if you're contorting it a ton and putting a ton of pressure on it, but I don't see an issue with that because it's naturally designed to maneuver. But it's because otherwise you won't get it. But for others, flat is just going to be less wear and pressure on the device, but it's designed for it. And you can move the magnet around. You'll see that the coils are all still working and that type of thing. And then again, remember, you got a year warranty. So you're welcome to, do that. Okay. As you can see this, Virginia, will PEMF help a loose tooth? This is really interesting. And so you can see the answer here. This significantly improved in implant stability and the bone integration compared to controls. While this study focuses on dental implants rather than natural teeth, the principle is the same. PEMF enhances bone response and the healing in the structures to support teeth. Here's the study here, Fred. PEMF seems to be assisted red light therapy. What are the main differences? Yep. PEMF is electromagnetic field stimulating cells at a deep level or even deeper, but red light is systemic because it's like a domino effect still. So they're both arguably getting to the deepest part of the body. So how could we say then deeper? Because if it's working with the glioblastoma or working with kidney function, it's clearly getting inside the organs. One is using light to interface. So we're designed to use light and Earth's magnetic field. I can't, man. I got to keep doing this. Sorry. and they're both working to boost cellular energy and produce ATP within the cells. Okay, yeah, you can do that. All right, good boys. You're getting tanned, Asher. There's the 7-year-old. You guys would have seen him just brush past there. Okay, reducing the activity. Okay, so can PEMF, how can it work with and help with bone cancer? Here's the results here. PEMF can also make cancer cells more sensitive to treatment, meaning therapies like chemotherapy could work better. That being said, PEMF is, we're not trying to make any one thing like this word CURE, but in combination, these can be some of the most powerful therapies, and it's working, right? So you want to use multiple therapies and then put everything into remission, right? So this was, the difference with the BEMA. So we are using like full body. It's eight coils, 4 different wavelengths of red and near infrared light, and the far infrared heat therapy. So in that sense, it's more advanced. And then you've got a high magnetic field strength of around that 150 millitesla. And then you've got the 1 to 30 hertz range that is customizable. And so in that sense, yes, it is very possible. And then again, remember, you've got like a 60-day. So I would try it for the 60 days, because if you didn't get a result on one, and then I would try to stack it with the red light. So if you could get both of those, which is, again, super reasonable, try it for the 60 days and get a result, because you deserve to get a result. And it sucks then trying things and not getting a result. Rebecca, what number should I put my PEMF for better sleep? The P1 setting around 3 hertz, deep sleep, 20 to 30 minutes before bed, or even through the night if you can. P2 at around 5 hertz, or P7 around 17. So you could, customize it, put it on there, or you've got those modes there. And with any of these, you could literally put it into Google, and you'd say, well, why would I do that? Well, you should do that, because there could be a new study that comes out next week that gives you more data, and it's really great data, and something that we published even 2 months ago in the booklet that comes with it is there's something even better that's come out. And that's why we're teaching you to look for those key things like anxiety. There's a 485-person study that showed that 16 hertz was the best to help with anxiety. But just put that into your search engine, and you'll find that you can get that clarity in that way. All right, and let's see here. Okay, I'm in the last couple here. I have your red light belts. Is the pulse mode okay? I would not. Is a pulse mode PEMF or both? The steady one considered PEMF? Okay, great question. This is a really common point of confusion. Red Light Pro Belt is actually a red light therapy device, not a PEMF device. So neither the steady mode nor the pulse mode is technically PEMF. The pulse mode on your belt simply means the light turns on and off in a rhythmic pattern rather than staying consistent. This is red near infrared light therapy, just delivered in bursts instead of continuously. The steady mode is just continuous light output. Lane, how does PEMF help myasthenia gravis? Here's the mechanism here, and here's the clinical study. And Ruth, can PEMF help with my husband's Parkinson's? Yes, here's the clinical research, and here's how. It's working through stimulating the muscles to respond, especially for movements. It's working by gently stimulating the brain, supporting nerve function communication. In the study, people who used PEMF showed better strength, faster movements in certain tasks, and particularly those in earlier stages of condition. Again, I would be using chlorine dioxide. I'd be using red light therapy. I'd be using nicotine. Look at the studies on that. It is mind-blowing for this condition, for Parkinson's. Ruth, will this help my chemo-induced neuropathy? Yes, here's the mechanism for how. Here's the clinical study backing this. Rebecca, should I lie on my stomach to improve digestion for the back issues, better sleep and inflammation? Yes, you could do it either way. It's going to get into your body. Here's a good answer for you there, Rebecca. And then here's the answer here, 3 to 5 times, even daily. And you could do sunrise, sunset, like morning, evening, if you had time for it. Closest towards morning when you get up, closest towards sunset. These are really great ways to do it. Ruth, will PEMF have any adverse reactions on an infusion port? It's safe around infusion ports. Here's the mechanism. And guys, that is it. Okay. My apologies there for anyone. I lost you and the screen. It's back. Okay, great. Guys, bless you. I appreciate you. I'm going to share the screen here. Go to where the offer is on the page. Sorry, I'll share entire screen. So check this out here and go to where we've got the offers here. Click on view offer. You'll end up on this page. Remember, grab it over the next 24 hours and you'll get the belt included as a free gift. When you take advantage of that, scroll down the page, look at the replay will be on this same page. So look for that. And you can see all the mechanisms, the frequently asked questions, and it's all there for you. Guys, remember that you could have a lot of questions and you could have a lot of, wondering, will this work, will that work? At the end of the day, you will tell it by being able to use it. That's why we're backing you with a 60-day money back guarantee, because we want you to get results and we don't want you to get it if it's not working for you. And we know that that's so rare that happens, that it's so frequently working for everyone. I just want to remove that barrier of entry and get you to try it. Studies can say one thing, but at the end of the day, your body is based on your experience and the things that you're trying and doing. And I want you to get results. I don't want you to stay stuck. And I don't want you to just stay in this system that then ends up costing millions, like literally millions. But then what's more than millions is your own life. So we want you to get better. We want you to recover. And I just want to thank you for having me here. And it's been a great time. So grab it while it's available. And we'll be closing this down again on Sunday night.